Are we live? Are we live? I don't know. Are we live? Are we live? I don't know yet. I don't know. It is Sunday. Is everybody watching The Last of Us and not watching us? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we're live. I don't know if we're dead. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna do this thing because we got another wonderful interview with another special community member. Well, second time. This is the first time on this show that we have a returning guest, a returning guest, and I think you're gonna love this guest because he's gonna have no muzzle, no nothing. He's not gonna have anybody holding him in chains. He's gonna say everything the way he wants to say it, and it's gonna be real fun, real fun. Let's see where they go. Let's play the intro because that's what we do before we bring all the guests. So we're gonna play the intro. Well, thank you for enduring the world's longest video intro in the world. Well, there's a lot of community members that we have to highlight. I don't even have a fraction of them highlighted in there. So endure it, enjoy and watch all the people scroll through that intro. I hope everybody enjoys it, and I hope everybody's gonna really enjoy the interview today because we got the one, the only, the fire guy Ryan, the fire guy Ryan. You know who I'm talking about. We're gonna put him on, and we're gonna talk to him.
I gave you crap last time I was on this show because I wasn't in the interview or in the intro, and I was half expecting you to troll me and to like all me. Well, a little bit expecting that, but that's fine. That's fine. I wasn't noticing. I wasn't observing or paying attention or anything. That's cool.
Well, listen. You want your own special intro just for you? Is that basically what you were looking for?
Just a bunch of like 10 minutes of just me would be pretty cool.
You know what? You know what? After this video is done, after this stream, after this interview is done, I'm gonna take all these little sound bites and all these little little clips from this and the previous interview, and I'm going to make a super special fire guy highlight reel just for you.
Damn straight.
And you're not gonna love it, but you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see what happens. Just bear with me for a second while I say hello to everybody. Hello, everybody in the freaking crowd over here. We got John Stout. We got K-pop, my moderator extreme. We all have to have one of those because we filter out porn bots. We allow the porn bots, but sometimes they get out of hand. I know you get them plenty of times on the Tom's channel whenever you're on there. They love Tom's channel. All the sex bots there, they love jumping on there. Hey, collecting with Durs, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Bleeker Street Comics. Happy to have you on. Tessa is a nerd. Well, we're all nerds. Thank you for joining us. And we got the bookworm, the biggest liar in all of the comic book community because he doesn't need a comic book, but he says he eats a comic book. He does not eat a comic book. But hey, we're not even going to get into that. This is about Fire Guy Ryan tonight. We got Freaky Louie. it looks like you got a lot of fans.
Apparently.
I think you got some kind of underground movement happening, the Fire Guy movement.
I'm late to the Freaky Louie game. My first time hearing Freaky Louie was Kevin Conroy saying his name on like a cameo or something. For some reason that stuck with me, and then I started paying attention. I'm not observant.
Oh, you have to check out his channel. You got to
Yeah.
give this guy a little bit of freaky love, because this guy, he's an original in the comic community. He puts a lot of effort into what he does, and when you see that first video, you'll understand why.
Fair enough.
Hey, Comics by Day. Hey, welcome. We're joining us, Dr. Plagueis. I like that name. That's an interesting name, Dr. Plagueis. I like that. Tricky Trapster. Thank you all. And whoever I didn't get to, sorry. Whoever I saw, I said hello to. I'm going to say a big fat hello to everybody else, and we'll continue on with the interview. And just like always, people, we are going to observe the chat as it comes through, but we are not going to be able to answer every single question throughout the interview, because we don't want to cut, the thoughts of Mr. Fire Guy Ryan. We want to have an open conversation without any interruptions, but we will allow everybody to ask their questions in full mode towards the end of the show in our question segment. That being said, thank you, Ryan. Thank you for joining us today.
It's fun. I'm excited.
Thank you for not trolling me today.
I got no energy for that. I barely made it on time. There's no time for trolling.
I appreciate that, because ever since you and Tom joined us,
I've seen you. The things have gotten out of hand a little bit.
Apparently, everybody decided, hey, let's troll journey. Well, who's gonna one up the other?
See, I'm a little bit more of a respectable, serious person. I'm a higher class of gentleman than Bronze Age nerd, for example. I don't know how he did that, by the way. I legitimately thought he had a camera set up. He had the exact same mic as you, and the hands and the cigarettes. I was impressed, and then I realized it was some sort of copying of the video.
I have no idea what the hell he did. I'm still perplexed by it, and I'm not happy with it. But
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you enjoyed it. The crowd enjoyed it. Everybody loves the laugh at my expense. But I'm going to ask you something before we get into the interview, because it's been a really, really hot topic within the community.
Oh boy.
Within the entire community for the past week or so, everybody's been really intense about this, and they're really like angry, almost like the whole C2E2 gate or something like that, like crazy. When you watch a video, when you make a video, do you believe it is the correct thing to do by thanking the people that watch your video, by showing your appreciation towards them in some kind of way with a gesture, or even just something that says thank you on there? Do you think that's the right thing to do?
I detect some sort of trick question or
no trick question. It's no trick question, because believe it or not, you haven't been watching Insomniac, but when
I pop in, but you guys go way too hard.
Well, it's been a very heated subject of late, because there has been arguments on both sides of whether you should say thank you to people.
Like in the chat, or like leaving a comment or something?
Anytime you do a video, anytime you do a stream, either before or after or any time in between, to show some token of appreciation to your chat or to your viewers.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
It's the right thing to do, right?
I would think so. It's been a long time since I've done a live show, though.
Well, you see that, people? An influencer actually said thank you. It's the right thing to say thank you. Now you should feel influenced. That's all you freaking no thank you trolls. You need to say thank you at the end of your videos. I basically brought this up in just like a real conversation, like just we're having to, and all of a sudden we had people say, no, you shouldn't have to say thank you. No, yes, you should say thank you, because you have a bunch of morons watching your terrible videos, and you should say thank you at the end. Right? Makes sense.
Sure.
That's it.
Thanks for hanging out, that kind of thing. It's an easy sign off, if nothing else.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Right. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, you don't feel like saying it, have a little thing that says thank you on there, or like a little postcard or something. Thank you. Whatever. You see it? All you miserable no thank you people. Fire guy Ryan said that you have to say thank you, and that's it. No more no thank you videos. Okay, that's it.
I am very confused and concerned. What is this in regards to? Did someone hurt you?
No, I just don't appreciate watching lousy videos and people saying no thank you at the end. I, if I'm going to watch a video, I want to hear a thank you. Thank you for wasting your time with us. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah, it's the right thing. Yeah. Oh, see, look at this guy, the worm. He's one of them. He's one of these no thank you type of crowd people. Anyway, we're not gonna we're not gonna get it too deep into that because we're right now in the ratings wars. We're up against The Last of Us, and we have to get some juicy stuff out of you. You know, so
We a couple million people watching this right now, I'm sure too.
we got to get gazillions of people to watch us and forget about HBO. You know, you could play that on a replay. You know, it works better that way. So I'm actually really, really intrigued by you. And this is why I'm intrigued by you. You're always in these videos with Tom. You're doing the interviews. We see you in the background sometimes in the whatnots. And sometimes you throw these little things in there. And sometimes you do the back and forth in the podcast and stuff like that. But I don't think we ever got a real good idea of what it is that you do, and actually what is your true opinions about stuff in the community and yourself and what you do, what you enjoy, what makes the fire guy Ryan work, what get those cogs working inside your head. So I'm going to start off by asking you a question, just like a very simple question. And
Stupid question that
I
is.
didn't even ask a question.
What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
Damn it, Trump! I didn't even ask the question yet. This guy's already telling me that there's stupid questions.
He
Anyway,
watches a lot apparently.
apparently he's one of the biggest followers on this channel. I don't know why he wastes his time with me, but it is what it is. Hey, all right.
Guess he likes comics.
I'm gonna ask my stupid question for you. Okay, I'm gonna ask my stupid question. So, the first question is: you were friends with Tom well before getting involved with this. What made you actually want to actually start working with him? Or do you work with him or do you work for him? Give us a better understanding of how your relationship is.
Both?
Yeah, both.
That's probably the right answer. I mean, he is my boss, but we do a lot together. So I guess it's a mixture of both. It really just started with him asking me for help one time. He wanted, I knew he was doing comic book stuff on Instagram, and he mentioned he was starting up a YouTube channel, and he was doing it with a teleprompter and just looking right at the camera and reading off this professional, script. And it's a very different vibe than what we are currently doing on the YouTube channel. So he asked me at first if I could look over this script he had worked on for like a Hellboy. I think it was some kind of Hellboy video he was going to make. So I was sure, I was working graveyard at the time. I didn't really have a whole lot to do during my work shift. So I just pulled open this text document and read through and fixed the typos that were in there and sent it back to him. But it was I thought it was, kind of weird because it's just for teleprompter. It doesn't matter really. It doesn't really matter if something's spelled wrong. I kind of feel like that was his sneaky way to just get me on board and break the ice, so to speak. And then later on, he asked if I would consider jumping in a video with him because he felt like the one person staring directly into the camera giving a speech style wasn't really working. And it wasn't. It was, if you go back and watch some of Tom's first videos on the channel, they are clunky.
Well, I think that goes without saying. I've been doing this for a while and they're still clunky. So everybody goes through the growing pains in the beginning, I would think, right?
Exactly.
You guys are smart enough to actually use the right resources, put the right team behind you to actually do the right thing as far as getting the production quality up. And do you have any input on as far as ideas for the videos and any kind of production influence on how it works behind the scenes over there?
Well, currently, right now, we are just doing the 2 lists every week on a regular basis, like the hot 10 and the trending 10, like we talked about last time I was on here. And I am behind the scenes doing a lot of the research, like finding out, the numbers we track. For example, if Omega Man 3 is on the list, I look up how many slabs there are this week. I compare it to how many there were last week. I track out, the growth in the amount of total census numbers and stuff like that. Write down recent sales info for him and for Gem Mint, or for him and Russ and myself to use when we're actually in the room recording. So I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, all the fun stuff that nobody wants to do, right? All the tedious stuff.
I kind of like tedious stuff though. It's kind of my thing. So it's more interesting for like the trending 10 when like the hot 10, those books are like, yeah, sure. Fantastic Four 50 or whatever. I don't know keys. I'm not a key person, but this random old key popped up, and it's it's very clear why that book is worth money, and obviously people are going to want to spend money on that. But on the trending 10, you get more interesting random kind of books that are more on the list for some other reason, and you have to kind of like dig into it a little bit and figure out why is the Century #1 on the list this week. What happened? Why are people buying this book in a lot of numbers? Why? A lot of research.
Well, that's actually funny that you said that you're not a key guy, because one of the things I did observe as far as when you speak, and you could tell that you're not one of these like people that are looking at it from anything from the reading, other than the reading aspect, from a lot of comics that you collect and buy. Oftentimes there'll be something that your average comic book collector would be really excited about, as far as, oh, this is the first appearance of this person, or this is the key to this. And it looks like you just don't give a crap. Like if the story doesn't intrigue you, or if it's not interesting to you, you really don't care about that. And like I recently saw that you've been reading or collecting, what is it, Green Lantern, over like recent times. Who the hell reads Green Lantern? I mean, you do, but I mean, and some other people, I guess, do. But that kind of made me feel that, all right, you got a little different perspective as far as how you collect. Did you always collect comics from a kid, or did you get into it later on?
No, I feel like my story is different from what I usually hear people say. They're like, oh, my dad gave me a box of comics when I was little, or my older brother or some friend of mine at school gave me some comics. I didn't really start reading comics until college. I had a roommate at college who had a very nice collection of graphic novels and stuff. All the greatest hits, all the big ones. Dark Knight Returns, Year One, Killing Joke, Watchmen, V for Vendetta, basically anything you would kind of want to read. All of the classics, all of the big important comics. But before that, really all I did was I was super pumped for X-Men 3 to come out. I was riding high after X2 when I was like 12 years old or 13 when that movie came out. And I was very excited to see the third movie. And I talked my parents into getting me this disc from Amazon that had 40 years of the X-Men is what it was called. And there were just literally 40 years of PDFs of like every issue from 1963 up until, that time. And I binge read a bunch of comics just sitting at my family computer downstairs in the computer room, just scrolling through PDFs and just reading comics that way. I read sometime up through the 80s. I started at #1 and just kept going all the way until I lost interest sometime in the 80s. But other than that, I didn't really like read comics until college.
So X-Men was like your real first impact in comics.
Ironically, yes, because I do not like them now. But back then, I was riding high on that movie for sure. Yeah.
Well, after what they've done with it, I can't blame you.
Doesn't make any sense. I can't do it.
X-Men really have fallen from the heavens, and I don't know where they're in right now. They're down in limbo, Mars? Hell. I don't know where they are right now, but
yeah,
politics. That's all I'm going to say about the X-Men. It all started because of politics and wanting to sabotage Fox, and it went haywire.
Yeah,
thanks for Marvel. Thanks for ruining my X-Men. But that's the thing. You really got into it as a college kid, and your brain was already formed. You already were able to rationally think. So you weren't like really able to tolerate a lot of the nonsense and a lot of the weird stuff that we read as kids, thinking is the coolest thing on earth. Where you would just look at it like, "What the
Gross.
hell is this?"
Yeah.
You know, you just like why am I what? Why am I watching Batman with a pink suit on? And like, why is
Well, that
uh
stuff's funny. I can appreciate some of the goofier Silver Age stuff, but I'm more the bigger question marks to me are like all of the early Image, '90s attitude, Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld kind of stuff. I know I'm in the minority. I know nobody else thinks the way I do about that. I cannot do that. I cannot do those. I can't read them. It's the art is too much. The stories are even worse, and like
well,
I can't do it.
I don't think you can have a lot of people disagreeing with you about Rob Liefeld art from the '90s. It's
Seems like everybody really enjoys it, or at least has nostalgic attachments to
listen.
that kind
He
of
was
stuff.
really good at making pouches. He was
Sure.
really making oversized people and overdeveloped women with big pouches and big guns, and really good at that. And little feet and all kinds of stuff. But I don't think anybody in the right mind could ever tell you that Liefeld is a you know, one of the Mount Rushmore of artists. You know, he had his thing, he still has his thing, and he's weird as hell. I got my opinions about Liefeld myself, but hey,
That's okay.
this
He
is not
seems
gonna
like a nice guy. As far as I know, watched him in a few
be.
interviews and stuff.
I've had my interactions with him. Yeah.
Everyone has, it seems like, except me. I'm nervous.
You know, I'm refraining to really expose my interactions with him until I actually get him on the camera face to face, and then I will tell him all about it again, and make him remember those interactions. But that being said, I'm not a friend of Liefeld, but from the '90s, there was some stuff. There was some stuff that I think was somewhat salvageable. You did get
I'm reading the '90s Green Lantern right now for the first time, actually, since I have so much of it.
you and your Green Lantern again. Okay, so which is your best run? What's your favorite run of Green Lantern? Do you like the Silver Age? Do you
Right
like
here. Jeff Johns.
that's your Green Lantern? That's your run.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hands down. Easily. No contest.
Kyle Rayner,
Eh.
woman in a refrigerator. No, not your thing.
I haven't gotten to that part yet, so I'm sure it'll be fine once I get to it. I'm slowly working my way through the '90s run, but the 2000s Jeff Johns run is so good.
Sorry, spoiler.
Yeah, I know that happens. I know the whole refrigerator thing. I know like Emerald Twilight and Hal Jordan going crazy and all that stuff. I know what I'm in for, but we'll see.
One day, Kimosabi, we will have Liefeld on. I promise you. One day, I'll find him by hook or by crook, or even if I have to pay him to get on and then sabotage him, I'll find a way to get him on here, one way or another. But very few people that get under my skin. He's one of them. But that being said, what made you just pick up that first Green Lantern book?
It was that college roommate, actually, my good buddy Nick, who I lived with, who had Jeff Johns' Green Lantern Secret Origin, which is like the good starting point from this run. He did a retelling of Hal Jordan's origin story. And throughout the course of like the year or two that we were living together, I tried to read like everything that he had. But something about Green Lantern really stuck with me. And then when I left college and went back home, I started building up, replacing some of the trades that he had that I really liked. I started getting for myself, and Green Lantern was one of those. And I went with it from there, and then got into like the Blackest Night, which is at the tail end of that run. A lot of really cool stuff.
So is that where it begins and ends with you as far as the superheroes are concerned, or is there other characters that you enjoy?
Oh no, I like other ones. Green Lantern is just kind of at the top. He means a lot to me personally, but I'm also a big Superman fan. I like Superman a lot. Batman, of course, but you know he's a little overplayed. But Batman's still Batman, so you can't hate too much.
So you're a DC guy,
probably. Although I would go indie over either DC or
See
Marvel.
what X3 did to you? See what
X-Men
that
3.
movie-
Yeah, exactly.
see
Spider-Man
what
3
that
too.
movie-
That's
It
a bad
ruined
one.
you. It ruined for you, Marvel. Like, there's so many people that watch that movie and says, no, we're not doing that anymore. No more X-Men, no more Marvel. Where you could have been, another one of the merry Marvel fandom
Something,
over there.
somethings. Yeah, with the card, the membership card and everything. Yeah, that could have
Yeah,
been me.
you could have been the one with the Stan Lee card and everything. But thanks, X3. That's basically what happens. Seriously, did you actually appreciate that movie when you were a kid?
I don't think I've seen it since then, honestly. I went to go see it at the movie theater, and 2006 when that came out, I would have been a junior in high school, and I didn't like it, especially after X2. Coming off from such a high and going down to not so much. It just felt very rushed. It felt overcrowded. Yeah, I didn't care for it. But then thankfully Spider-Man 3 was right around the corner, and that was going to have Venom and symbiote stuff in it. So I was super excited for that. And, then that turned into a whole thing. So I guess I just didn't really do comic books at that point up until I went and lived with Nick at college.
So unfortunately, your exposure to comic movies were not quite at their worst. It wasn't quite Roger Corman's Fantastic Four.
When Batman and Robin came out, though, I was 8 years old, and that was my favorite goddamn movie in the whole world. I loved that movie. When I was a little kid, it was the greatest. I went and saw that multiple times in the theater. I was born the same year as Tim Burton's Batman, the first one. I'm from '89, so like those movies are a big part of my childhood. And yeah, the first two X-Men for sure, first two Spider-Man, but I knew they were based on comic books, and I knew that was a part of it, but I never really had the chance, I guess, to kind of explore the source material. I was much more into video games and movies growing up as a kid.
I could see how an 8-year-old Ryan would be influenced by Batman and Robin. That it's a fun little kid movie.
I also really like Ice Powers, and Mr. Freeze was the shit in that movie. And Iceman, I really liked Iceman and X-Men too. So something about those, guys who can freeze stuff are fun for me.
Well, let's also look at it from this aspect. Listen, Kool-Aid, you better say that he drank a little bit before the damn freaking show. He does that every so often. Be quiet when we're doing an interview here. So I could see how anybody could appreciate all the Arnold Schwarzenegger lines from that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how are you gonna go wrong with that?
Every now and then, I just watch that like supercut on YouTube of him just going freeze, frost, ice, winter, just over and over. It's really good.
You can't go wrong with that. I don't care how bad the movie was, or
It's bad.
you add some Arnold Schwarzenegger lines to it. They're memorable, at least for good or for bad. You're gonna remember them. So I take it like that. It's one of those things where it's cemented in your mind. Even if you watch it now, it's so bad, it might keep you watching. That's what the kind of movie that I look at it as. So, so we got off of X-Men. You were watching. You X3 destroyed you. Spider-Man cemented that for you. You get into the college years. You're into Green Lantern. You start reading indies. V for Vendetta, which is not really indie, but it's Vertigo, kind of indie-ish. But what indies are the ones that pulled you in? Like, what was like, what's like on your like top indies growing up, or even now?
Yeah, back then I definitely was only really interested in the superhero stuff. That was all I knew, really, coming from the movie side of stuff. And yeah, V for Vendetta was as indie as I got back then. I guess you can count Watchmen too. They're both DC, but like they weren't recognizable characters to me anyway. I had not seen the movie V for Vendetta at that point, but shoot, man, anything indie right now, like I just prefer it. Horror has always been my favorite genre, so I gravitate towards the scary stuff. I'm obsessed with James Tynion. I like Department of Truth a whole lot. I like Nice House on the Lake. I'm a huge Ed Brubaker fan, so his run on Criminal, I've got all three of the deluxe hardcovers, of course, directly behind my head right here. Just a lot. It's kind of too much to explain, I feel like. But they tend to be more interesting, and I like things that end. My least favorite is a comic that just goes on forever and ever and doesn't stop.
Are you the kind of guy that will, like, every single week when all the indies pop out, you'll at least get the number one to see what it's about and give it a shot, or you
No,
want to
I
read
have
the summaries first?
yeah, I've got a pretty big criteria, I guess. I go through the previews guide every month, and if I see something has like magic or spells or demons or gods in it, then that's a deal breaker. Uh, so yeah, anything like that, I will skip. So I'm not going to just grab any new number one off the shelf. My pull list is far too big as it is for that. But
So no swords and sorcery, anything like that. You like the more realistic approach in the comic?
I could go fantasy, but something about magic specifically is a deal breaker. Spells and like John Constantine, Justice League Dark. I don't know. It just feels kind of cheap. Like you can just wave a wand and be like, "Oh, I did this spell, and now everyone's back to normal." You know, it's like, "Oh, sure, that's a new magic spell no one knew about. Is now makes everything good again. Everything's fine." Or vice
Gives
versa.
writers too easy of a convenient way out in a lot of stories. Well, you know what? Everything is hell, but magic.
Right. I remember reading Harry Potter growing up, and at the end of the third one, when Hermione just pulls out that magical time travel device out of nowhere, and you spend the whole end of the third book going back in time, which was really cool. I liked that at the time, but it also kind of like planted a seed of like, hey, there's some kind of trickery going on here. I feel cheated. Also, I don't like Once and Future Barbarian. I love you. I'm glad you're here, but I don't like that book.
I didn't like that book either.
Not my
There's a
jam.
lot of indie stuff. You know, a lot of people get on the indie bandwagon, and there is a lot of good stuff on in the indies, but there's also a lot of terrible stuff too.
Sure.
So you know, everybody likes to say, "I'm a Marvel guy, I'm a DC guy, I'm an indie guy, I'm an Image guy." Do you think Image is really indie anymore? Can it really be considered an indie?
It depends on your definition, I guess. I feel like indie is, for me, it's just not superheroes, not Marvel or DC. Is kind of what I just refer to as indie, I guess. There's obviously different degrees of how independent your publisher really is, and Image is way up there, but
Image does have a lot of superheroes as well.
true. But I would consider, like, Radiant Black, for example, to be an indie book, even though it's a superhero title.
I mean, let's take a look at what's going on with Invincible.
Yeah.
Is that really an indie character anymore? He's pretty mainstream, you know.
He is. I don't know exactly how to define the boundaries, but
I don't know. I just see
don't
it
like
as
that book that much either.
I just look at it like this. This is top three now. I don't think it's just Marvel and DC and everybody else. I think the Image has cemented themselves for what 30 years now as a company and put a lot of stuff and there's often months. Stop doing that. There's also often many months that you see more Image titles than maybe DC titles or Marvel. Well, not Batman titles. There's never
Don't count
any-
Batman, yeah.
there's always more Batman titles, but you get my point, you know. But they all come out with their stuff that's good, that's bad, which makes it kind of like interesting and I guess like fun and difficult for you as far as what you're doing right now with your project with Tom, as far as putting something that's brand new that nobody heard of. You made a bumper as far as by the way, I'm looking all over the place for just your plain bumper to be able to download it and add it to the video, and I can't find it. But
Oh, like the little trailer for a comic?
yeah, it'd be nice if you could send it to me and I could attach it to something. I'll play it in Insomniac and promote you
Yeah.
on it.
I've got it somewhere. I think it's on my phone somewhere, deep down.
So it's kind of different right now as far as how you're approaching this. Like you have the jitters right now. Are you like super nervous about it, or are you like kind of like come to grips like this is what we're doing? It's gonna be great.
Some kind of mixture. It still doesn't feel like it's a real thing. Writing a comic book is a lengthy process, I've learned. Even though our story is just going to be 3 issues, it's been in the works since like late summer, early fall, I want to say.
When do you think it'll be a real thing? When it's actually out and you start getting reviews from people on it?
I think that's when it's not going to hit me until then. Like we started getting in some variant variant cover samples, I guess, from different artists right now. We're working on variants. So every new thing that comes in kind of chips away and makes it a little more real.
How many freaking variants are you gonna make?
Probably a lot. It's not
Like,
up to me.
is it gonna be like freaking gazillion variants? Are you gonna like let like Nerdy Girl do a variant with her jumping off a cliff and like
If it is, it's not going to say Nerdy Girl Comics on it. Damn it! It's
and,
going to say Crashdown.
and Bueller running a bus through the title sequence? Like, is it going to be one of those things, or are you going to keep it as moderate as possible? I don't want to poke a lot of fun at you about this, but I'm so I'm suffering from variant fatigue like nobody else.
That's fair.
And I know
I just
there's a
get
lot
one
of
copy
people
of a book I want personally, but
yeah.
if it was up to me, I would do fewer. I know, or I'm pretty sure we're going to have fewer variants than Ninja Funk did, but I don't know how much that's saying because those were quite a lot for that book. But my policy personally for my own pull list has always been choose one cover for every book I'm reading. Like I'm feeling it right now for Poison Ivy is one of my favorite books out right now, and every single cover for that book is gorgeous. And it's very hard because I don't want to get all of them. I got no reason to have multiple copies of the same book, but I'm restricting myself to one per. Makes it a little more fun, I guess, picking and choosing.
It does, but at the same time, for the completionist or the comic hoarders that we have, like I'm part of that community of comic hoarders that we like to have everything. It kind of makes it aggravating when you have literally 100 copies of a different book, whether it's from incentives that come out, whether it's variants 1 through Z, A through Z, or comic exclusive from different stores and that kind of thing. It gets a little nutty. Are you going to be selective as far as who you allow to do your exclusives or anything like? Are you going to be doing exclusive, or are they all going to be controlled through you as far as how many variants are in there?
Well, it's definitely not going to be through me. But I know we're going to have, I think, 4 open to order variants that you can just get through previews from your guide for cover price through your LCS.
There. All right. We got A
and then there's going to be some ratios. I don't know exactly what numbers and how high up they're going to go or who's doing what art for what books, but we are going to have some ratio variance incentives. And then store exclusives as well. There will be some of those, but it's still pretty early, and I get looped in at the last. I'm the last step on the chain. Like Tom, whenever I go over there, he'll show me some new sample artwork on his phone and be like, "Hey, this guy's gonna try and do a cover for us or something." And so I'm just like, "Oh, cool."
Well, I'm sure Milky Comic is going to be one of the.
I hope so. That would be cool.
I would think so. Like, how could it not be?
We're also gonna. I believe we're doing a variant that's going to go into our mystery mail call, which also makes sense.
Yeah, so, well, if he didn't do it, I mean,
I should hope so, man. Yeah, it's your first comic book. It should go into your mystery mail call.
If you're going to promote your title, the first title that you sat down and created, I think putting it to all the fans that are buying those mystery boxes on a monthly basis,
they deserve an exclusive.
Well, not only that, they're probably the first ones that would be on that list of waiting for one. So, it's super important. And I don't. Do you have any artists that they have in mind that are going to be the top guys that are going to be on those books, or anybody you want to reveal that is like a super hot artist that we would know of?
There are artists, I could say that. Names I never thought we would be even who would be in the running to do this sort of thing for us. I don't think I can reveal any of them yet, but they are beyond my wildest expectations. I'll put it that way. Get excited, I guess, is how I want to phrase that.
I mean, like, are we talking about Alex Ross caliber? Jim Lee caliber?
I don't know for sure, but I will say the ones that I do know of for sure are I'm excited. I'm very excited. There are people who whose books I have, whose art I really like. Yeah, I can't say for sure, but you'll find out soon. The book drops in July. It's going to be in the guide next month.
And we'll actually be able to see some of these covers.
At the very least, you'll be able to see the 4, open to order ones. But I think doesn't previews also show off some of the incentives? I think for books. I'm not sure
Yeah.
about that, but
Previews
it's coming.
also sometimes image soon to come. So I didn't know if it was going to be
True.
one of those situations. So, I'm actually very intrigued. I think you're going to do something good because you do value production, and I think Tom really values his brand, and I don't think he's going to get involved in something that's going to be anything less than a success. But you're going to have your fans, you're going to have your trolls, and you're going to have everything in between. Are you prepared for that feedback? Like, are you prepared for that first person to say, "I just read your comic, and it is complete horseshit"? Like, are you? You're gonna have it.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't thought about that part too much.
I love it, but you're gonna have that. Are you prepared for that? Because you need to mentally prepare for that.
I do.
Thick skin.
I would think. Yeah, I definitely don't have thick skin. That's one of my flaws. Very thin. The only thin thing about me. But I would think if going in that it's a sci-fi horror comic, that might give you a clue whether or not you'll like it. But I know we are taking it very, very seriously. And one of the main things I've been thinking of while working on it is that I wanted to make sure it was something that I would read, that I would pick up, that I would pre-order if I saw it in the catalog, and it wasn't something I came up with.
Yeah, but you know that you're going to have people that never read a horror book or never read a sci-fi book. They hate sci-fi books and never read an absolute despise horror books, but they're still going to pick up your book just because it's you guys that are putting it, just to give you shit about it. I know that's going to happen.
Yeah, I guess it will.
To everybody.
It's going to be the first book everyone loves. That's probably it.
I look at it like this: whether they love it, whether they hate it, if they picked it up and they're talking about it, I think that's a plus for you.
True.
I'm looking forward to actually buying a copy and actually reading it thoroughly and giving an honest review. Now, you might like the review, and I hate the review. I'm going to do the same thing with Swaggle House. He's doing one of his. He's going to be releasing a book as well. I like to do that kind of thing. I read Ninja Funk, and I thought it was complete. What's the proper word to use? A steaming pile of crap. But it had cool covers.
That's fair.
Covers. And I bought multiple covers. And here's the thing. I buy covers a lot of times just to support some of the people that release them. Like, I bought that Bueller Bus one. I bought the Nerdy Girl one. I bought a couple of different versions of them just to support community members. Now, oftentimes when you guys release a weird variant of something and I like it, I'll buy it just to support community members. But oftentimes I don't like the inside. Did you like the inside of that Ninja Funk?
Ninja Funk was not for me. No. I did have it on my pull list, and I did read all 4 of them. I gave it, a full shot, but I knew pretty shortly after opening it that it was not my jam. But also, I've learned in the years that I've been doing this, just because I don't like it doesn't mean somebody doesn't like it. I can't imagine, but it's got to be somebody's favorite book in the world.
Who do you think that is for? Who do you think that was catered for?
Not sure.
You gotta be on some weird psychedelic crap to
right. It kind of felt like that. I'm also not really a big music person, which is weird. I know I'm missing some sort of part of my soul is missing. I don't love music like other people do. So that book had an extra kind of hurdle to get over for me. So I'm not the target audience for a book like Ninja Funk. Although I do like that it had a cat in it. I do love cats. That's a plus.
I'm in the search for that one person that honestly enjoyed it, and I went in there open-minded. Like, I really wanted it to be good because I'm a product of the 80s. I like that weird kind of I have a TV for a head kind of a thing, and
right.
and Mex head drums and all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm into that stuff. I couldn't get into it. I really couldn't get into it, but it is what it is. Sorry if you got like a ton in your inventory still, but I think
I've got
of
my
it.
set that I'm gonna sell pretty soon here, but I got all the David Mack covers, so I'm happy. I do love David Mack.
Well, I look at it like this: it's the kind of book that I pick up because I think it's going to be one of those notorious books that everybody has to have in their collection, because it's going to overtake that Turok #1. I think it's going to be that book that you have to have it. You have to have it. And which cover you decide to have, it's just one of those things. But I'm more looking forward to the actual original stuff that you guys are putting on there. Is there anything else that you're actually working on besides this project with Tom, as far as any personalized things? Are you an artist? Do you do anything like that as a hobby that you would like to actually make more of a profession?
No, I don't have a whole lot of time for a whole bunch of extra credit kind of stuff. I guess you could say my whole life I've wanted to be a writer. It's been a back of that mind kind of goal or dream or something in the back of my head since I first started reading like Roald Dahl books when I was a little kid. But there's been a couple of things that I have tinkered on over the years in the background. Actually, when Tom reached out to me and asked me to jump on the YouTube channel with him, I was working on a screenplay just for fun, kind of while I was at my graveyard job, just standing around waiting for stuff to do. I was working on a TV series that I would have liked to see happen, but I got no connections or anything. I was just typing, just making a story, but there's something.
It is something, but I don't know. It's just like I feel like there's something else working inside your mind. You're like one of these quiet guys that are behind the scenes. You're working with Tom. He's got you busy. I'm sure. I hope he gives you plenty of water and everything every night when he changes you in the basement before the next work day.
Dog bowl full of water. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that's the case. But honestly, how many hours a day do you have to put into this?
It's a full-time job at this point. I started working with him full-time last summer. So it's about 40 hours a week. Might be a little more, might be a little less, give or take here and there, depending on, whether or not it's like a convention weekend. That'll obviously be more involved, or, vice versa if there's not as much going on. But I'm the one behind the scenes. Sorry, what?
What are your responsibilities? I've seen you stocking stuff. I've seen you pulling stuff. I've seen you going and putting together those mystery boxes. You said to us that you have been doing all the research and everything for the videos. What don't you do?
What don't I do? I'm not on camera for the Hot 10. That's a big one. I'm not the guy making the calls and like negotiating what artists we're going to get to do any certain variant for us any month. I'm thankfully not in that part of the company, if you will. I don't have that kind of talent. I'm not a good people person in that sense, but I am doing pretty much all of the rest of it behind the scenes. I load all of the books into our Whatnot shows. I help package them up after the shows are done. I transport them, from the studio to our warehouse where we assemble all of that stuff. Yeah, and I do all of the not all of the script work for the videos, but a big chunk of it. I help out our editors on the back end if they need any, help trimming down the videos. Sometimes they come out a little too long and we got to cut something, I have some expertise in that sense, I guess, or helping them find, trailers to show as B-roll or images, that sort of stuff. All of the above, I guess.
Sounds like a lot of stuff with high responsibility.
Yeah, Tom likes to call me Producer Ryan, I guess. And
what kind of work did you do before this?
Before this, I was for 7 years working at a hotel, front desk overnight. Multiple hotels, I guess. I switched, from place to place a few times throughout that time.
In
reception? I was graveyard for 7 years.
What, as far as reception or something like that?
Yeah, so if you got really drunk one night and forgot to check into your hotel room, and you stumble through the door at like 2 a.m., I'm the guy checking you in. Or if you got a super early flight and you got to leave at like 5 in the morning, I'm the guy who checks you out in the morning. I had to do all the accounting and like paperwork stuff overnight, do the books, the accounting, all the number stuff, which left
So
me a lot of free time to read a lot of digital comics, which I did back then, and write screenplays and do stuff for Tom in the early days. Because back in the first few years of the channel, I was working 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then I would get off work, wait for Tom to wake up, and then go to his house and record, and then go to sleep at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon to start it all over again.
it sounds like a lot of hours, but it must have been kind of fun at that point, right? As far as getting involved in all these new things.
Yeah, it was more fun because I guess I wasn't like as responsible for it. I was more like, I guess you could say, like an employee. I was working with Tom and I was in a lot of the videos, but I wasn't like involved behind the scenes as much. I would show up, I would record a video with him, and I would go home or do a live show and go home.
That probably built you up towards being able to build the skills to be able to organize and multitask and do a lot of the stuff that you're doing now for Tom as far as being in the hotel. I'm assuming, you have a lot of responsibility.
True.
I'm sure you're going to have a lot of drunken, angry hotel people coming to you, or you're going to have a situation where there was some kind of problem that was not of your doing from a travel agent or through the hotel itself that you're going to have to sit there and absorb and deal with. So I'm sure that works out well as far as being able to transition from one type of business to the other. Do you feel anything from that experience actually really helped you?
I hadn't thought about it that way before, but I don't think you're wrong. I don't use a lot of those particular skills for Tom, but the overall multitasking and juggling stuff, and I'm creating my own schedule a lot of the time here now. So I guess that part of it was relevant. I was pretty much unsupervised all night from 11 to 7. So if I didn't want to, I could like put off some of my tasks until later in the day, but then, you're behind and you're scrambling and people are waking up early and suddenly you got to stay late and you did it wrong. You screwed up. So like, you learn a lot about time management, I guess, which was probably the most important thing.
Well, it definitely. I could see the correlation. I mean, you just told me 2 seconds ago about what you did, and I could definitely see how that could work from one to the other. My mind works in different ways as far as being able to like make connections with things. But the one thing that I do know for a fact is we have ran polls in the past, and there is chatter throughout the community, and it's going to be a little awkward for you, or maybe it's not, depending on how big your ego is. You are clearly the most beloved cast out of the entire cast of characters from Comic Tom's entourage. You by far are the one that is most admired and enjoyed, even beyond Comic Tom, believe it or not. So how does that make you feel? Is there going to be like a little bit of a clashing of egos down the line where listen, it's time for Fire Guy Ryan to
I'm going to be Paul McCartney and start my own wings kind of thing?
Yeah, are you going to be doing your own wings? Are you going to go all Axel and Slash? What's going to happen? Because this is a fact. If I tell the chat right now who you love the best, I guarantee you they're gonna all pop
they know who to, right? I'm here. They know they got to answer right, or else something will go wrong.
Regardless if they're in here or not, trust me, my my influence cannot affect my chat. They have a mind of their own. The Insomniacs, they will say it the way it is, and they for the most part have been saying you're the guy. Do you have aspiration of doing solo stuff down the line?
I mean, I tried to do some of my own solo stuff on my channel when I had a little more free time before I was full time with Tom, but I've always felt more comfortable behind the scenes, like a number two. Kool-Aid man, dude.
I don't get him. You know, get out of here. Get out of here.
A little too much vodka in that Kool-Aid today.
We're gonna have big Kool-Aid over here. He doesn't fall down that easy. He could take his alcohol levels a lot more.
He's sturdy.
Yeah, this guy. Because oh yeah, you know. But so like real near term, I could see you doing something down the line, and I could see you doing something with your channel down the line, because you're right. You haven't really done much with your channel of late, and it's mostly IG stuff that you've been doing for the most part.
And even not much there.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're going to come back to the fold, to the YouTube community, and give us something?
I would like to.
I think people want to see that.
I would very much like to.
You think Tom is holding you back?
No. If
No?
anything, my pull list is holding me back.
No.
That's been my biggest problem. Keeping
Is
on
there
top of every
contractual
book I have.
obligations that says no, Ryan, you can't go solo, or you're gonna burn in hell forever? No, nothing like that, right?
Nope. Only contract I signed is an NDA, so I can't tell you like the numbers. You know, that sort of stuff.
It's a good thing that I'm not interested in the numbers. I'm more interested into the juicy stuff. You know, I'm not into the numbers. You can make all the money you want in the world and sell as many things in the world. I don't care. Good for you. That's my,
because I can't remember anyway. I would have to look it up and tell you, which is obviously not happening either way.
You know, that's the one thing that I don't understand. A lot of times, a lot of people like to count other people's dollars in their pockets and stuff like that. It's not something that I really care about. You know, are you entertaining me? Are you selling me what I want to buy? Are you fulfilling your purpose to me in my life? That's all that matters to me. Are you giving me something I enjoy? Great. Are you giving me something that I want to hate? That's great too. You're filling your purpose. That's the way I look at it. You know, and I know for a fact that people really, really, really dig you. So we really, really want to see more Fire Guy Ryan exclusive stuff.
I would like to. I ever since I jumped on the channel full time, there's been a bit of a learning curve for me, kind of having to learn how to script all of the video stuff, for example, and research pricing and GPA sales on stuff. I've never really cared about that before. I still kind of don't care about it now. It's my job, but that sort of stuff has been a big learning curve, kind of getting me up to speed doing the things I'm doing now for my job. But as a result, we have pulled back on the live show that Tom and I used to do together, which I sorely miss. I liked doing that show together, and it had me and him go live and just kind of not so much a hangout like this one is. We definitely did like segments on the live show with the intention of cutting them out later and releasing those as smaller videos, you know, standalone products. But I don't do as well, I think, in a number 7 on the list is this book. You know, it sold this many copies, and it's really cool. Like I don't feel as comfortable doing that stuff as I do just hanging out.
Well, I can tell you something from a personal level. I definitely miss that a lot more than seeing your regular content. Nothing wrong with the regular content, but I enjoyed those live streams a lot more because they were more interactive. Same way like this stream right now, you're getting to see people make their comments and that kind of thing. Whether they're good or bad comments, you know, all eyes are on you. You feel like, you know, there's some kind of a back and forth going on. And I always felt that even though you had a lot larger chats and a lot larger groups watching at that time, I will give you guys a lot of credit. You were able to keep up with them, and you were able to be interactive and highlight every so often a comment and be able to reply to something and have a little bit of Q&A. And it was like you said, it felt less scripted. I don't know, was it scripted at that point to an extent? I know you had segments, but
not scripted in the sense that like the list videos we do are, but they're, you know, we knew we were going to do, oh, this segment's going to be about cool keys you can find for $20 or less. You know, we'd pick a few books and then riff on them. We would say, oh, today we're going to talk about the new Ghost Rider series. That's fun. So we'd read the relevant books, but we would intentionally kind of go in there a little unpracticed so it could be more real, more fresh, you know, kind of improv style versus a true kind of scripted, written out sort of discussion.
Yeah, so you basically had an outline and went off of that.
Right. A little bit of
Bullet
structure,
point.
but not entirely, totally 100% guideline scripted stuff.
And you could tell sometimes if somebody slipped up a little bit or whatever the case. It's live, and you're basically coming up with a bunch of stuff that on the spot. It made it more interactive. I personally feel that way, and I could tell from the chat and a lot of people that we've spoken to, we want to see that come back. I think that was where you guys shine the best as far as the online content is concerned. The top tens, they serve their purpose. They're polished. They're really nice that you do them consistent, which is a big deal because there's a lot of other channels that do them, but they're not as consistent. Not only on the date they're scheduled or whatever the case is, but they're consistent as far as you know what you're going to get every time. It's not like a muddled mess. Sometimes you see a lot of these top tens. One week feels like you're watching a different show than the other. You know you're watching Comic Tom with his hot 10 or his cold 10 and what it is. So that's great, but you got to bring back those. Talk to Tom. Bring back those.
I've brought it up already. Yeah, whenever we probably honestly, whenever our book is out and done and off of our plates, because that's taking up all of our extra time, plus some of our days off even are spent. Like I should have been over there yesterday, like writing all day. We should have had a big writing day, but I wanted a day off. I needed time. But when our comic is over and done with, I'm gonna push for the live.
Just don't stream them during the times of the creatures of the night, because I can't compete with that. So don't compete against me at those night hours. Those are my hours. I can't
all of them, all 12 hours of the night. Yeah.
Those are my hours. We want zero competition. I don't embrace competition. I like a monopoly. So that's my time. You could have the rest of the day. So I could tell. I'm looking at the chat. People want your comic book reviews. They want specific Ryan stuff, and this is not like trying to get you to upheave and revolt from the Comic Tom tyranny. We're not talking about that, because I think you guys make a good group together. We just want to see more of you. That's when I put the poll on, I put I believe 4 other people together.
I saw that.
Yeah.
At the end of Bronze Age Nerds video.
Yeah, you did pretty damn good.
I was a little impressed.
You did pretty damn good. I mean, you were going up against guys like Rob from Comics Explained, and very impressive that you were getting that kind of percentage compared to a lot of the other people. And it's for a guy that doesn't do regular content all the time, that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, but surprised.
I was happy because I already knew at that time that you were coming on, so I'm like, oh, good. I made a good choice.
Took us a bit to figure out the exact day, but
yeah, well, that has nothing to do with me, Mr. Diva.
Yeah, okay. I'm very busy.
Yeah, for everybody that doesn't know, Ryan by far is. Yeah, don't look at him like this. He's like nice and calm and passive and chill and relaxed. He's the biggest diva out of everybody. No, I can't do it this day. I can't do it this day. You're gonna do it at this time and this day, and that's it. That's it. If you don't like it, you're not gonna get the fire guy on. And I had a. That's why we're doing him. I
believe that was a direct quote. I believe I said, "You're not gonna get the fire guy on." I said I speak about myself not only in the third person, but with my stage name.
That's it.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, that's how you talk behind the scenes. When we talk on a one-on-one personal basis, this is all act as far as speaking like normal people do. You speak like The Rock in the background.
Correct.
Fire guy is going to tell you, that's basically your thing. But it was tough. It was tough to get you on, not because of anything else, but because Tom had to like loosen the whip and the chains a little bit to release
just
you. He needed to release the Kraken a little bit, so that was actually a really good thing. I'm surprised that Comic Tom is not watching his person.
He could be in here and just not saying anything.
He's lurking. He might be lurking.
He's got better stuff to do, I'm sure. I don't
Well,
know what, but he's got better stuff.
well, I don't know what's better. What's better than this?
This is
You
like
know?
one of the only days that him and I aren't together working on stuff. So hopefully he's doing something fun and low key. But knowing him, he's having 3 separate phone calls at once, trying to figure out variant covers or artists or exclusives. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Well,
Watching Lord of the Rings.
Well, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he's a big nerd.
Oh, is that still playing, or did
Oh, the show?
Yeah.
Oh no, I meant the movies over and over. But he did watch that show as well, which I did not enjoy.
Oh, so he wasn't watching Last of Us to get the biggest key type of influence from that right now?
Ah, dude.
Who died, who didn't die, or anything like that? It
Well,
should
we
be
played
over by
we
now.
played the video game 10 years ago, man. We know what's going on.
You already got the blueprint. You don't need to watch the damn show.
Oh, yeah.
You lived it. You played the interactive game. You know, what do you think of that craziness as far as everybody jumping onto that bandwagon right now with the Last of Us speculation and thinking
I'm
that's
into it.
going to be the next Walking Dead? Do you really think it's going to be the next Walking Dead? It's hard. It's big shoes to fill.
Depends on exactly what you mean, I guess. Walking Dead is like a 10 season, juggernaut, 192 issues of a comic, and Last of Us. Walking Dead, I actively don't like. So, I mean, I don't want it to be too close to The Walking Dead.
For a horror guy, how do you not like Walking Dead?
It stayed way too long. It should have ended significantly sooner than it did. The show and the comic. I didn't love the art for how much I didn't love the overall story structure. I guess the art made it a little bit worse. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. Once they left the prison, once the governor died, once they got past all the Woodbury stuff, and then the story kept going, I was just kind of out of it. I was over it. And then Negan showed up, and that was okay. That was kind of cool, but like, I got a little too cynical and realized that Robert Kirkman was more interested in going and seeing how long he could go versus wrapping it up at a cool time. I would much rather have something brief that ends on its own terms, that goes out with a bang, versus goes on and on and on and on and then just whimpers to the finish line after everyone stops caring.
Well, were you actually actively watching it during the time towards the end of the comic run?
It was never on my pull list.
Okay.
I had a friend who had the deluxe hardcovers, so I read a little bit of it during the show, and then a year or two ago I actually binged the whole comic all the way through digitally. Thankfully, it's very, very easy to just burn through the whole thing on Comixology, and I got caught up on the whole show too. I actually read and watched. I tried to stay as close together as I could, it was a pretty cool experience. I did have fun doing that, but I don't know. I like to think of I use Breaking Bad as the example of something that comes in and tells a cool story and then leaves before it leaves when you're still wanting it. It left. Some of its best episodes were like right at the end. It went out on the highest possible high note at the end, and people are still obsessed with it.
So what do you think of the thought that the way Kirkman just ended that series? He just like decided, hey, it's done.
It felt kind of
Cheap,
I guess. Yeah, like, I mean, I wish it would have ended much earlier, but at the same time, I think on the one hand, I kind of think it's funny that he solicited fake issues beyond, the actual ending, and it was a real, pull the rug out from under you kind of ending. I respect that part of it, I guess, on one hand, but on the other hand, like, I don't know. There's way too much filler in that book for me to be a fan.
Well, believe it or not, I'm one in the minority as well. I did not actively read Walking Dead as well, and I kick the crap out of myself on a daily basis every time I look at that comic and the value of it, because I remember picking it up off the rack, opening it up, because I'm a zombie guy. I like zombie stuff. Looking at it and saying, it's black and white. And I
do love the beginning. I like the first season, the first couple seasons of the show, but the first season especially, I was really into the idea that it was Frank Darabont who created the show and was in charge of it for like the first 2 seasons, I think, before he got shoved out. And I really love The Mist. He directed that movie and brought a lot of the same cast members, actually. So when I heard Frank Darabont was going to be making this horror comic, I sought out the comic book and read some of it, and I liked it. I thought the beginning was really strong. I think Robert Kirkman is good at starting stories, and sometimes just needs to end them a little earlier.
You feel the same way with Invincible?
Yeah, but I like Invincible less.
Or you like Invincible because of the superhero element?
I didn't even finish Invincible. I read probably 40 or something issues into it, and he started going out to outer space and having a family with some alien and had a purple kid, and like it just turned into like I don't care. This drama, this family drama stuff wasn't for me.
So what is that floats your boat as far as these series that are influenced by comics? Are you a boys guy?
It took me a while to get onto the boys, even though I do have all three of the hardcovers back here. The boys is fine. I do like the show. The show's fun for what it is. The comic isn't necessarily my jam. I haven't read the whole thing yet. Once I get ahead of my pull list and get some time, finishing these 3 hardcovers behind me is on my list. But it's cool. It's cool for what it is.
Well, you got to be a little bit twisted to be able to appreciate what the boys brings to the table. You know, me being I first got influenced by the television show. I watched that before I started reading the comics. I didn't even know of the comics before that, and the comics are a lot worse.
I don't love the art.
Yeah,
the art is kind of like I don't love it. It's kind of lumpy. Is that a right word? It feels lumpy to me.
I feel that that's happening in more and more modern comics as time goes on. I think because of the deadlines, and I feel that because of the lack of personal, what's the work ethic or love of the business, and they're getting a lot of graphic designers. They're getting a lot of people that could just do a lot of quick, rapid work or computer digitized work. You're losing a lot of quality. Just like that, and in a lot of books. Was that like a big hurdle for you to find the right artist for your book? Because of that reason?
No, he was on Ben Templesmith was on our book before I was. Tom and Ben have been talking about writing a comic for a long time, actually. And then I remember Tom actually ran an idea past me a year or two ago. At this point, that was about like someone living in a hospital, like an asylum scenario, some kind of weird body horror story that like he was super jazzed about, but I was just like, I was trying to be nice, but I was like, I don't think it's that good. I don't think that idea is that great. Thankfully, I don't know where that idea is now, but that's not part of our book in any way.
So run me through like a session between you and Tom on that. Like, how does it work? Like, do you like just brainstorm and just shoot ideas at each other, and like who sits there and compiles the storyline? Like, like put me through a scenario where you're sitting with Tom and you're trying to come up with a basic storyline. How does the synergy and how like who does what during that time period?
It's pretty much as 50-50 of a split as you could imagine for it being. We are definitely co-writers on it. It's not like Tom's just saying, type this up and put my name on it kind of thing. We are doing it jointly. I'll show up at his apartment. I'll sit at the computer. I'm the one who types. I love Tom, but he can't spell for shit. So like I'm the typist. I'll format it. So I'm at the keys, and he'll be pacing back and forth, and we'll be shooting ideas off each other. And it's a lot more structural. You got to be. We aren't professionals in this sense. This is our first time writing a comic. We haven't gone to school or taken classes. We probably should have. I was going to ask you
that if either of you took any kind of course or even read a book of how to.
I have Brian Michael Bendis's Words for Pictures right over here, which is a really cool kind of educational guide on the process of writing a book. I did also really enjoy. I got a lot out of reading Alan Moore's Writing for Comics. I learned a lot from that too. Also, just reading as many comics as I possibly can and learning what to do and also what not to do. I think that's a big part of it too. But a lot of our shared DNA, I guess, that goes into making this has been from other mediums. You know, we have similar love for horror stuff. We both love horror movies and the same kind of TV shows. So we have kind of similar language that we're speaking in. But more so than just kind of hammering out the outline and the story structure, it's more like we need to hit, 21, 22 pages. You need to keep in mind is page 1 on the right-hand side and page 2 on the left. We gotta make sure and notate, what side of the book you're going to be looking at, because that determines, like, you don't want a big twist kind of reveal happening on the right-hand side while you're reading the left. You want to try and save those for page turns. You want to think about little tips and tricks you can do to make someone want to turn the page instead of just give up right then and there and fold the book and go home. There's
and you have to be super, super wary of that, how wordy you get and how everything's going to play out.
I'm wordy as hell. So, like, it's also a good thing to have an editor. We have a very good editor, Michael Calero, on this book, who is a writer and an artist. So it's super helpful that he can not only shoot back some of our scripts that we send in, he'll shoot back and say, like, yeah, you guys, this is too much. You guys got to trim this down. He'll also shoot back like some sketches and be like, yeah, I think this would work better if it looks like this, for example. And before we even give it to Ben to start drawing, we have at least some sort of rough idea of how it could look, which is really appreciated.
So this is kind of how I'm envisioning. You guys meet up, you're hanging out, you're throwing a whole bunch of ideas. Probably most of them are shitty ideas that get rejected by either one of you until you figure out what's something that's agreed to, right? I don't think they're all like number one ideas right off the bat, right?
We figured out the outline, I guess. The whole story structure was the first thing we did before we ever started, getting into like the actual dialogue and the nitty gritty, like page 1, this happens, page 2, this happens. We were like, all right, so they're gonna go to this planet, their ship's gonna crash. It's in the title, spoilers, I guess, but they're going to crash land on this planet. And then by issue 2, we want to make sure this happens and these people are in this position. And then issue 3, we want to make sure everyone's in position for, the grand finale, so to speak. So it's more of like putting the big blocks in the right places and then making sure everything kind of flows there, finding a good chopping off point for where you break up issues 1, 2, and 3 and filling it in kind of from there as we go. So by the time you actually start to script it, you already have the roadmap sort of planned out, and we don't waste a whole lot of time at that point shooting down ideas, because we know, like, this person needs to go here and this thing needs to be there and that sort of stuff.
So once basically you guys decided what the premise is going to be, the summary of what your thoughts were, it's kind of just getting more technical at that point. So how much do you actually see in the final product, and how much does the editor chop up by the time it gets there?
One of the weirdest parts about this is how much how little of that there was. I expected us to email this rough draft of a script off to the editor, and I was waiting for a phone call to be like, yo, this might not work, we might need to just scrap this whole thing, you guys are really bad at this. But he had like 2 suggestions, and it was like he was impressed with what we were doing, and it was more like technical side of stuff. Like, page 12 has way too much going on, you guys might want to try and move some onto page 11 or 13 to kind of let it breathe a little more, that sort of stuff. More like structural scripting versus story.
And how many pages is each issue going to have?
I think 22. I think that's the standard. There's not going to be any ads in there.
Standard 22, limited ads. So it's
I don't think any. We haven't. If it is, it's going to be bigger than 22 pages. But we're doing 22, maybe 22, 21. I'm not sure. Script pages, 22. Let's say that, give or take.
Okay, so that basically you're going to have a standard format. You felt that was enough pages in order to be able to go from one issue to the other, because that's one of the things that over the years has changed dramatically. The amount of pages in each comic has reduced, and you're seeing that in a lot of in a series, in any storyline that you have. It's like it should be almost read as chapters. Like each issue should be its own little miniature chapter. Did you feel that that was enough to be able to give the reader enough information in order to tease them to want to get to the next issue, or did you struggle with that?
If anything, I'm struggling now with maybe thinking we went too fast, like maybe a fourth issue, like maybe, in my less confident moments when we're writing it, I'm like, I think we need more. I think we need one more issue to kind of space this out and let it breathe a little more. But we talked about it and realized like this works as three. We planned this, we outlined this as three. It's been a 3-issue story in our heads from the beginning. And I think we want to make sure it's 3 really cool, jam-packed, good issues versus 4 less than issues.
And is it going to be all inclusive, concluding type of story, or is it going to be one of these open ended type of series that brings you into the next volume?
We've talked about a potential. It ends. I don't want to say how it ends, but it ends with definitely leaving the door open, so to speak. There is a future to this Crashdown storyline somewhere. We haven't. We're trying to focus on making sure the 3 issues we are doing for sure are good, but in the process of writing it, especially, we're like, this could make a pretty cool like issue 0 or like a one-shot tie-in that explores, what's happening to the group of characters that we left behind on planet Earth. There's a bunch of different. I guess that's a sign of a good story too. At least I think when you're writing it, when you're working on it, that like there's all these other avenues that you could go down, but we don't have time. We're focusing on the main storyline, but there are kind of idea seeds being planted all over the place.
Well, they not to be crude, but you never want to shoot your entire load in one series and give a little bit of something there for the audience to want. They want you to come back and that kind of thing. That I think that's what makes a great story. Even if it's a story that is, look, Top Gun was a great one-shot movie, right? I don't think anybody could really argue with that. In the 80s, they loved it. But people wanted it so damn bad that they made another one 30 years later. That's what makes a good comic.
I didn't love that new movie, but I guess I'm in the minority there too.
I'm in the minority as well with the Tom. If you spoiler people, sorry. If you love like really high speed airplane movies, go for it. Story wise,
I got bored. I got a little bored. I don't even remember if I finished that movie.
Old Tom Cruise, it's I don't know. It's just nostalgia. Let's just leave it up
Sure.
there. But this is a really changing world in comics. Like extremely, comics are being optioned left and right. Things going to movies, they're going into cartoons, they're going into TV shows, all kinds of different avenues for IP right now. While you're writing this with Tom, are you taking all that into consideration as far as how you're writing the book and what kind of story you're putting in for a possible ability to be optioned in the future?
I mean, it'd be cool. I haven't really wasted a whole lot of brain energy on daydreaming in that sense, but
I'm not talking about daydreaming. I'm talking about more of a predetermined thought process as far as, you know what, this could make a good movie, or this
I think it'd make a very good movie. I would like to watch this movie. I'm a little biased because it came out of my brain, at least partially, but
that doesn't factor in as you're writing it, because I've noticed that a lot of writers are doing that of late. They're writing it, and a lot of these stories they don't feel like comic books. They almost feel like propositions or
storyboards for a movie that they want to get made.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I'm getting. Does that factor in at all with you guys?
I mean, maybe if we were like successful creators and had a deal with some sort of, Hollywood person, that might factor in like, oh, we can't do this because there's going to be a movie eventually. But like, no, that's a nice possibility. It'd be cool if there was a movie. I would like to go watch it. I would like to get a paycheck, for making a movie, let alone a comic book. But I am just 100% focused on making a cool comic.
Well, I look at it like this, nobody's famous until they're famous. And all it takes is one thing to make you famous. Yeah, well,
Very true.
we'll get there one day. You don't want to see that story. Maybe in OnlyFans or something. I don't know. We'll
Tom
see.
Cruise, man.
Yeah, right.
Old
but
Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise.
really old Tom Cruise.
He's not getting younger, no matter what he thinks.
He's gonna have to look like Tom Cruise from Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Okay.
He's gonna have to look like that kind of Tom Cruise in order to play me. But but I've been noticing that. You've noticed that a lot too, as far as these new books coming in. And I don't
hate that
anybody for doing it.
necessarily.
I don't fault them, but at the same time, it makes it really, really tough to have a longer run in a book. Because it just feels like, all right, here's my idea, here it is, make it into something. And if you like it, then I'll write some more. It almost feels like that kind of a thought process. I'm a romantic when it comes to comics. I'm a nostalgic when it comes to comics. I like these runs that last for 100 issues, 200 issues, 300 issues. You ever envision yourself of being one of those kind of writers where you're writing a series that 10 years down the line, you're still writing the same series?
I mean, I won't say no. I mean, I'd rather do that than not write anything, but
that's not like one of the aspirations you have as far as longevity. You just want to put good stories regardless of size.
An important thing to me about storytelling is having an ending and making sure the ending is good, because we've all read or watched too many things that just kind of fizzle out at the end. Stephen King is notorious for not really being able to nail the landing on most of his books, for example. I don't necessarily agree, but I could see where that sort of criticism comes from. And I just said the same thing about Robert Kirkman a while ago, too.
Well,
I would rather do a bunch of miniseries than one big long series.
Well, it depends which Stephen King we're talking about. Are we talking about the Stephen King that wrote the books because he wrote the books, or the Stephen King that's writing books that he knows are going to turn into movies tomorrow?
Right.
Because there's a different kind of writing that goes on there. You have a lot more of a different feel when you're reading Lawnmower Man than when you're reading The Stand, or reading even those older stuff like Carrie or something like that. Those books or Shining, those books were not initially. They were novels. They weren't made for movies. As he went into the Maximum Overdrive, is here another one made just for movies.
It's a process.
You hit one of my favorite writers that I also have so much I hate from. There's not that many writers out there that I actually love, I adore as a writer, that I actually have almost as much I hate from as much as I love from. And Stephen King is one of those. Like, either I absolutely love his writing, or I'm like, what the hell did I just read? He's one of those guys. But
I can see that.
He's doing his job. He gets me to read everything that he writes every time he comes out. And if you could accomplish doing that, even if you're going to get the critics that come out and say this is horseshit and it's not your best work, at least they're comparing it to your best work. That actually was a good example of what you can do. And it'll always keep somebody reading after that.
Yeah, I'm behind on my Stephen King.
So where does your ego take you?
Where does what?
Where does your ego take you as far as what your aspirations, as far as where you want to see this go? Are you thinking Eisner Awards? Are you thinking where's your ego take you? You have to have a little bit of ego, right? You have to.
It's going to sound like I'm being humble, but I legitimately have not thought that far ahead. It might be a bad thing. Maybe I should start thinking that far ahead. But as far as I've thought about it, I just want a trade I can put on my shelf behind me. That would be the nicest thing in the world, to have something I helped make, printed and produced.
You ever read something somebody else writes and say, oh, I can't believe that. I could write that so much better. Like, you ever have that feeling in you?
Yes.
Okay, so there is a spark of an ego there somehow.
Correct.
You have to have it. I tell this to everybody, no matter how humble you could be in life, and no matter how modest you could be, if you want to be able to succeed and take things to another level, you have to have at least some form of an ego to say, you know what, I could do this. I could be better than this. I could improve myself. I could do better than a lot of the other crap that's out here. You know, that's the mindset.
My problem isn't necessarily ego so much as motivation. I just got done reading the new last couple issues of Amazing Spider-Man, and I don't like it. I don't like that book. I would probably have dropped it off my pull list if that wasn't like one of the biggest, comics. I kind of have to read Spider-Man. But there was an issue just a month or I guess an issue or two ago. It's like Black Cat and Spider-Man on some kind of date somewhere, just fighting weird criminals. And it's just like, what is this? What's happening? I feel like I could do better, but I don't want to. I don't want to try and write Spider-Man,
I can't envy you for having to read all that Spider-Man crap that they're writing right now. I know that
I don't have to technically, but
you so you could be in the loop.
Right.
Everybody reads Spider-Man, so you kind of have to at least know what's going on, even if you're skimming through the book. And it's been horrendous.
I have had a pull list now for 5 years straight since I got into this with Tom, and Spider-Man just relaunched with a #1 with Ryan Otley and Nick Spencer right about the time when I started up my pull list again. And I've been on it ever since then. I've read every single issue of Amazing Spider-Man. I haven't I don't want to say I hated it the whole time. There's parts that I kind of liked. I kind of liked the Kindred character, and there was a little mystery built up around who that guy is.
Yeah, but they killed it at the end. That character,
by the end of it, it went on way too long, and I didn't care. By the time they did reveal who that person was, it's like, oh, cool, okay, that's kind of who I guessed, I guess. And then
eons ago,
nobody cares anymore. Yeah, Kindred's a distant memory at this point, and Spider-Man goes on. And I think I just don't like Amazing Spider-Man as a comic, which is sacrilege to say, but
I don't think it's sacrilege. I think that it's the same problem that X-Men's having.
Yeah, but at least X-Men had House of X and Powers, which I loved. I read that. That was the last time I had X-Men on my pull list.
I mean,
love Jonathan Hickman, but
Hickman could do a lot of good things with characters as long as he doesn't overstay his welcome on a comic. That's the way I look at it. But it's unfortunate because Spider-Man is a flagship title, and I think if maybe the problem is that they don't have fans actually writing the comic. Somebody that actually appreciates the history of the character and actually is able to do a lot with a really, really rich history that this character has.
Something about Spider-Man fans in particular too are very, I don't want to say toxic because I think that's an overstatement, but like if you try anything different at all with Spider-Man, there will be an uprising of people in the streets who just say, get him back with Mary Jane. Or whatever the hell, there's always people have opinions about Spider-Man more so than like anybody else, it feels like. And if you try to do anything different, then they'll, crucify you because it's not the story they remember reading, 30 years ago or whatever.
Well, I think Superman fans would disagree with that as far as trying to do anything different with that character, because every time they do, there's an uprising. Even though the Superman books do not get anywhere near the Spider-Man titles sales every month. Superman fans are freaking fanatic. They love their Superman and they want truth, justice, and the American way. All they got to do is change that motto, and all of a sudden, hell is broken loose. So,
yeah,
Spider-Man's one of those weird characters. It's funny. I saw a comment here. I'm not really jumping on the comments too much, but about an action figure. So one of the things that I've noticed, like Kevin Smith and his little crew and everything like that, they made a whole lot of merch. They even made action figures of themselves. They even have Funkos of themselves. Are we going to see a fire guy Ryan Funko? If Funko doesn't go default, by the way, we don't know. But if Funko still exists, how weird would that be seeing your own Funko of yourself or something along those lines?
I feel like I could just get a Kevin Smith Funko and that'd be close enough. I don't look that unique, especially on the Funko. You just got a beard and like the big beady eyes and
I get it. But all joking aside, Like, would that be something you would want to see in the future? Like some kind of little action figure or bobblehead or Funko or something like that of that whole crew of yours, just out there. I'm sure
It'd be
there'll be
kinda cool.
people that buy them and have them. You know,
I would rather. I want like a T-shirt. I'll settle for a T-shirt at this point. You know,
you don't have
and
a
he's
T-shirt.
our merch game is not good, if you ask
How
me.
did you not have a Fire Guy Ryan T-shirt?
We have a T-shirt that says Mark Jewelers on it. You know,
Wait,
we have
hold
a
on a
T-shirt
second.
that says expensive paper on it. I don't even know if we have a T-shirt that says Comic Tom 101 that you can buy.
Are you serious right now?
I don't think so. And if we do, I'm not aware of it, which I should be because I'm part of it.
Like, how do you guys not have T-shirts of yourselves? Like, hell, even if you don't want to sell them at the cons, I'm sure you would want somebody to wear that glasses logo of Comic Tom on his head on his shirt, or a Fire Guy Ryan. How, like, I mean, that should. Oh my God, your egos need a lot more of a boost. What the hell's going on over here?
I don't know.
This is something. This is funny because I actually had another heated, other than the hello argument, we had a big heated argument as far as memberships and those kind of subscriptions that are part of some of the YouTube channels. You know, because there's a lot of YouTube channels that you know, they get to 1,000 subs, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm taking over the world and we're making gazillions of dollars. Oh, meanwhile, you know how YouTube money works. You don't. And they're making all this merch and all that stuff, and they're like, you don't even know who the hell they are. You know, you guys actually have a brand. How do you not have merch?
I don't know. Maybe we need to have a little roundtable discussion or something. We should have talked about this when Tom was here too.
Oh my God, I would never
Publicly shame him for this. Yeah,
I could not. That is something that I would never have thought of even starting a conversation with Tom, because I thought it was a given. I
think his thought process is he would rather, if someone wants to pay us money for a piece of merchandise or something, he would rather have it say more like an inside joke, I guess, than just Comic Tom 101 in big letters across the front. You know, like if you see somebody walking around with that expensive paper shirt that we have, you know, or the Mark Jewelers shirt, you're gonna, if you wear that at Comic-Con, you'll get a glance from people who know the Mark Jewelers reference, but also any other Comic Tom people, for example, might catch it. But there's room for another T-shirt too in the rotation.
Well,
I think we only have a couple.
I definitely get that. They like, you want the clever references, and hopefully you trademark those references so you could actually have nobody else make them too. But you got your own brands. Why wouldn't you? Even if you didn't want to sell them, I find that unimaginable. If I had any type of real presence and brand in this weird little community of ours, I would, and I was actually making a living off of this, which you guys are. At the very least, I would have some kind of merch, a stupid cup.
I want Tom's cat on a shirt, like
a hat.
We're not marketing Butch enough, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, he's got little Butch trading cards.
Little trading cards. Those are fine.
Those are cool. But I want a shirt. At the very least, actually give away some merch with that stuff, because I would want people every time they do their Comic Tom unboxings, which like freaking people do every single month.
Yep.
To be wearing your shirt while doing it.
It'd be kind of cool. And maybe for all I know, those shirts do exist, and I'm just an idiot because I don't check that part of the website ever. But
oh my God, I got to get Comic Tom back on here just to give him like a piece of my mind as far as marketing is concerned. That's ridiculous. It's not. You just blew my mind. Completely blew my mind.
If we do have that shirt, it's not marketed as well as it should be. I guess that's the easiest way to say it.
I think so, because
I should know.
You should be wearing one. You should be wearing a Fire Guy Ryan shirt. You should be looking like
I'm wearing a James Tynan t-shirt. You
should be looking like Bam Bam Bigelow right now with flames all over you. I don't know if you know that reference. You don't know Bam Bam Bigelow
from the Flintstones?
No, the wrestler. He died.
Oh, hell no.
Okay, so this is your homework, Ryan. This is what you need to do. Yeah, and you're gonna love this. you're gonna love me for this. You're gonna take that Bam Bam Bigelow outfit that he was wearing and use that as your influence for your t-shirt. And I guarantee you, you're gonna be thanking me for it. Guarantee you.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Thanks.
you. I'm telling you, and you're gonna be selling Fire Guy Ryan stuff all over the world. All over the world. And people are gonna be wearing it. And then Tom is gonna get all butthurt about it because he's like, why is your merch selling more than mine? Well, you don't even have merch. That's why.
Right.
So that's why it's gonna happen. But I promise you, you need to do that. You really, really need to do that. I'm blown away, and now I have to be the old man that gives you a lecture about it. So there you go. You got my lecture about it. Merch, whore yourself out to the community. You have
Oh,
to.
I do that. Oh yeah.
You have to do that. Oh my God, I'm stunned right now, completely stunned. You don't seem like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't need a t-shirt. I don't need Fire Guy Ryan sneakers. I don't
You
need
need new shoes.
socks.
That too.
These socks,
I know.
underwear. You could
All
have
of it.
people.
The whole
you could-
outfit.
Even when people are trolling you, even when they're like giving you bad video reviews, they'll be wearing your shirt that they bought. Think about it. It'll be great.
Especially if I get some kind of cut, I would hope so.
Think about it. It would be great when you release your comic and they're reading it and doing their first book review. They'll be wearing your t-shirts. And you can make t-shirts like, I'm a Fire Guy.
We're amateurs.
I'm a Comic Tom guy. I'm Jeff the Guru guy. Like you got to do one of them. Yeah. You know what? Just for that, I'm going to make t-shirts. I'm going to make a t-shirt and prove a point to you. You have to do it. You have to do it. No more t-shirt talk, but I'm stunned.
Broke your brain.
You completely blew up my mind just now, and I'm going to give a lecture to Tom about it. Maybe I'll even make a video about it. How missed opportunities happen.
Just clip out this entire shirt rant and make that a thing.
I think that's what has to happen. Wow. I usually like to stay back and not talk as much as I have in this video, but you just gave me such a platform just to go off on a topic like that. I apologize. This is all about you.
I gave you the platform. That's correct.
No, I apologize. I didn't mean to talk so much. It's all about you and your negligence of not doing merch. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. So what do you watch? What's the Fire Guy watch? Yeah, what do you watch? Like, do you watch YouTube? Do you watch regular conventional TV? Do you?
Definitely not that. The past couple of days, I've been binging your content, man, a little bit. I can't do the Insomniac on the rewind because I have a thing about, like, if I start a YouTube video, I got to watch the whole thing, like the whole thing, all the way through, and I can't do that for your 7-hour live streams.
I could definitely get that. You know what? It goes back to the whole experience. Either you're on live or you're not live. Most of the people that watch those streams are on for a few hours, an hour or two, whatever the case is, until they pass out, and then I get the next wave of insomniacs, and so on and so on. And there's some people that are, I give them freaking all the credit in the world. They last from beginning to end. I don't know how the hell they do it because I barely last. So
I've popped in the chats a few times, but usually I'm in and out.
And we do appreciate it every time you come on, and I do appreciate you actually taking the time to actually look at it, because I've had guests in the past that had no idea whatsoever about any of my content, and they really didn't know what kind of questioning I was going to give, which didn't help them in any way. But at least you know what you're getting into as far as my mindset and how my brain is somewhat wired, But realistically, what is it that you like? What's your kind of content that you watch? Like,
oh man, I've been for some reason I decided to go all the way back to the beginning of Comic Tropes on YouTube and watch every single thing he's ever done. I'm trying to work my way to the present day on Comic Tropes. I love that guy.
Chris is awesome,
right?
He really is great.
I actually I watched your interview with Bronze Age Nerd and then learned that Bronze Age Nerd talked to Comic Tropes. So then I watched that whole interview right after that. That's kind of how I spent my morning today. Little daisy chain of content creators there, but
He's another one that's doing an exclusive. He's doing an exclusive cover right now. But he is a writer. He is. But this time he's only doing a cover for somebody, which it blows my mind. You have channels like that, Comic Tropes, that have really great content, like thought out content that he actually puts the time and the effort in, and it kind of puts everything into perspective how huge this comic community is, because you have people from this little sector of the community right now that don't even know who Comic Tropes is.
Go subscribe to that guy. Go just quit watching us and go check out Comic Tropes right now if you don't know.
No, don't do that now. Don't
shut this down. That's my advice to everybody in the chat. Get out of here.
Don't do that now. All right, put the link in the chat, but don't go there now. Go until later. But you get what I'm saying? It's funny. Like you ever get surprised, like when you're talking to somebody in the community and they don't know who Comic Tom is.
That's happened.
It does. It's bound to happen. I've met people that don't know who Comic Historian is, or
That's true too,
or Comic Explained is, and they're in the community and they're watching content all the time, and they never, for one reason or another, find them or came across their channel. It's a very odd thing. I think it has to do a lot with the YouTube algorithm as far as who they're promoting and who they're not promoting. But I also think everybody kind of gets into the little cliques and their little groups, and they watch their normal everyday content, and until they're introduced to something else, they don't know who they are. I mean, we have a good portion of the chat right now that know you and know Comic Tom. But I could assure you, there'll be people that pop in here or maybe already in here on the replay and say, who the hell is this Fire Guy Ryan? Let me look him up. Let me look at Comic Tom.
You're fine. Don't bother.
And they'll be able to determine whether they like you or not. It's just one of those things. It's a very odd thing. Every day I've been doing a lot of research, and there's so many companies out there. Companies making every channel into a company now, which is almost like what it feels like. But it's the evolution of YouTube. Everybody's developed their own brand. It's not. You got a lot of rough stuff that's happening as far as video content, that kind of stuff, which is fun to watch that as well. But you're seeing everybody's getting a little bit more polished. Everybody is being more cognizant about their brand. Everybody's being a little bit more cognizant as far as the production is involved, which is a good thing, because I think channels like yours set the way for your regular cookie cutter channels that basically would just stand behind a camera to step up their game and actually start thinking about the production a little bit more. Not me. I don't do that.
I was going to say, not everybody, but
no, not me. I don't do that. But everybody else that cares, I care more about my guests than me. That's why we got your big face right in the back of your little face over here. That way. See, we changed up a lot of things since the last time you came here. Last time you came here, we were just on a black screen.
I don't even remember already. It's already out of my brain.
Now we got a background that actually says your name in it. Boom. We got your face in the background. There's flames. Look at this. We're getting sophisticated right now. Technology.
Stepping it up.
Technology. So other than comic tropes, who else do you watch? What other kind of stuff do you watch?
Not a lot of YouTube. Not as much as I should. I'm subscribed to a lot of people, but it's a lot of work to watch other channels.
So what are you, a friend of the Hulu, the Disney Plus?
I have basically
Netflix?
sold my soul to HBO. Like that's where I'm at. I share a lot of passwords. I guess we all do. So I have access to a bunch of different streamers, but I just love HBO. I'm a sucker for most of the things they have done over the years, and honestly, I'll end up rewatching some old show that I definitely don't need to. I don't need to watch Curb Your Enthusiasm again, but I will. I'll put that on in the background, when I should probably be putting on a live stream or a comic show or something in the background. But
You can't go wrong with Larry David. It's Larry
Nah.
David. Seinfeld. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm a
he's
relative recent Larry David Curb fan, but for the past, I guess it's been 6 or 7 years at this point. I've watched it probably too many times for that amount of for that time span. I love that show.
so if you had to abandon all streams and all content providers, and you had to pick one to keep forever, HBO Max would be the one.
If I was only allowed to have one app on my device, then
That's
yeah,
it.
it would probably be.
You have to endlessly watch that content.
No, there's so
HBO
much
Max,
there. That's the thing.
That's the one. All right.
I could honestly you could just give me the entire Sopranos box set. Just give me one show, and I'd be good for.
I mean,
forever.
there's a lot of stuff. Entourage was great. I thought.
I still haven't got into that. There's stuff I need to start. I haven't seen 6 Feet Under. I'm not emotionally ready for that. I don't know if I ever will be, but 6 Feet Under is there waiting for me.
You like sketch comedy, like quirky, weird sketch comedy?
I'm an enormous fan of I Think You Should Leave on Netflix. It's the only thing I watch on Netflix. That's a weird sketch comedy. Yes.
Give Kids in the Hall a shot.
I should. I know there's a few others I need to try too.
I think you're right. HBO's got a lot of stuff. I don't know if I'd be able to watch it endlessly because I'm a big documentary guy too. I like documentaries.
They have good documentaries.
They do. They do. But I like to see animals run. I like to see lions running around and tigers and crocodiles eat anything they find in front of them. So I think I need to have something with a little bit more of a mixed blend.
I don't know if Netflix at college.
I don't know if Netflix is that yet there anymore because I think I got my overload of Netflix at this moment.
Yeah, same.
No, but we'll see. But you think you're ready for some questions from the chat?
Let's do it.
You tired of being interrogated by me asking all kinds of irrelevant stuff?
Is it better to be interrogated by one person or by a bunch of people?
Well,
you're all faceless drones anyway,
Well, no, not all of them. Not all of them. Look.
Some of them have faces, yes.
Tessa's got a face.
Yeah, she does.
She's got a face. K-pop's got a face.
Hey.
Faces. We got faces. Yeah. It's funny. All us ugly comic community guys, we don't show our faces, but all the lovely women show their faces for some reason. I wonder why that happens. I don't know.
We will know a whole lot of other people who don't show their face.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm in the wrong corner of YouTube.
I don't know. Some people got some kind of weird face hiding problem. I don't know who, but some people. But let's get to the question, people. Let's get to the questions. I think that's what we need to do. Any questions?
Don't answer no questions, and I won't tell you no lies. Hey Lord, don't ask me questions. Hey Lord, don't ask me questions, please. What do you want? What do you want from us? To ask you this much is just a matter of trust, not an affront. What do you want?
That one freaks me out. I don't know what the hell that last one is, but that one freaks me out.
Hey, that's what you're gonna get here. So, if it was your conventional kind of thing that you're gonna see anywhere else, I wouldn't put it on.
I love David Pumpkins. I'll ask questions from him all the time, but whatever that freaky animation thing is at the end, that creeps me out every time I see it.
Hey, that's special just for you.
Thank you.
You complained to me about the highlight. I had to do some special question thing just for you guys. So, ready for all the questions, people. If you ask something stupid, Trump might have to come out.
You got to put a Q at the front, though, right? That's the thing I saw you say.
Yeah, it would be better if you put a Q in there because I want to know it's a question. So, do that, people. Thank you, Brian, for the assist.
I wouldn't have remembered if I hadn't just watched this morning. So,
you what?
I wouldn't have remembered to say that if I hadn't just watched one of your other interviews this morning.
Yeah, well, sometimes it gets a little bit weird when people are making statements and questions, or they're even chit-chatting with each other in the crowd. So it makes me kind of difficult to be able to. No, I don't want to look at your face. Okay, Bae. And don't look at my face. I don't want to look at your face. No looking at faces. Only Ryan's face. No. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're not talking to Jem Mint now. We're not talking about Jem Mint right now. We could talk about that at the end.
I'm excited. I'm gonna watch.
It'll be nice. It'll
To
be
answer
nice.
Toby's question, yeah.
But you know that's disrespectful to our guest.
Stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
Okay, no
Well
more
played.
stupid questions. But we're all looking forward to Jem Mint. You know, it's been a while since he's done any kind of interview on anybody's channels, as far as I know, unless he has some behind the scenes negotiation like you guys did with Chaos and Comics that I did not know about. That I came across. I thought I was getting the exclusive. All of a sudden, you know, Rage Theo was having you on. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, but I'm not gonna hold that against you guys. No
Clearly.
problem. Question: have you had any bad experiences with other comic book influencers?
I don't think so. That's a boring answer, but I don't think I have. If anybody has, it's probably Tom more so than me, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I think
Tom gets a lot
is
of hate.
much more of a heat target than you are. I think you're the lovable guy in the background that nobody wants to pick a fight with, right?
That's right. It's no fun to, you know, fight somebody who is zero challenge at all.
All right, that was a good question.
Uh,
How about this one?
no tea to
From
spill.
Dr. Plagueis.
Besides
Green Lantern, what other filler are you hunting for when you hit a shop?
That says that speaks to the kind of collector I am, I guess. I don't even like to use the word collector, I guess. I'm a reader. I get about 25 books, give or take, every single week on my pull list. So I go to my shop once a week to grab those books, and I struggle to read them all by the time next week comes around, and then I, you know, rinse and repeat every week. But when I go to a shop, I guess I'm looking for, you know, I'm trying to get every Green Lantern book, mostly just so I have something to do when I go to shops with people, because all the books I want are already at my shop. You know, I only want the really new stuff I want to read. So yeah, I'm working on filling every single Green Lantern issue ever, which is a nice task that will never end. So there's always some random issue or two I can find. For sentimentality reasons, I am trying to also put together a whole run of New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis. I really like that run, but there's a lot of important first appearance type stuff that's in there, so that's going to be hard to fill. I'm also trying to do a full run of Ultimate Spider-Man, which is easier. And I think Fatale by Ed Brubaker. I really like that book. I'm working on finding the single issues of that, but mostly just Green Lantern.
So you're not really a compiler. You're not like a big comic hoarder. I know from the omnibuses and the paperbacks you have in the back, you just rather have the story, and you don't care if you compile all the comics themselves, right?
Yeah, no, actually, single floppies are my least favorite way to read a comic. Like they're fragile. They might be worth something someday, so I'm always like anxious about damaging it. You know, even though who cares, right? I should just be able to read it and enjoy it. But I get that kind of Larry David mentality where, you know, like don't put it on the table too harsh, or don't set anything on it, or don't bend the page. You know, I get too anxious. If it's a hardcover, a trade, or something, I don't worry so much about it. Or digital, I can definitely not worry about that because there's, you know, infinite storage online. So that's I have 16 short boxes in my living room and not a lot of space other than that. I can't really add more boxes to that collection. So I would say a solid 90% of those 16 boxes are books from my pull list in the last 5 years. The rest are Green Lantern.
How many books from that 25 book pull list every week that you get do you actually never get around to reading?
No, none. I read them all. It's just
Oh, you do read them. You always make a point of reading that, because I've noticed that with a lot of collectors these days. They get a ton of stuff every week, and then slowly but surely, the amount of books they actually read out of that, you know, significant amount of books starts to lessen and lessen, and all of a sudden they have a box full of books that they're playing catch up on to read.
That happened to me a while ago. Like I fell behind one week for whatever reason, and playing catch up sucks because it never stops. Like the books keep coming. But I'm
And do you-
I'm a big believer in thoroughly reading the previews guide every month, and I don't order stuff that I don't want to read.
And do you like reading it month to month, or do you like to compile like a few issues together and read them all consecutively?
My memory sucks. So like when a new Batman or whatever comes out, I have one of my short boxes in here. So I guess technically I have like 18 short boxes because 2 of them are in this room. But one of these boxes is full of the most recent issue of every book I am subscribed to. So when I get the new issue that week, I go in and I grab the one before and I read both. So really I'm reading like 50 or so books every week instead of 25.
Well, that kind of gives you a little bit of understanding. Are you going to be one of these guys that write like a little last time on whatever?
That would be nice. I don't know if it's necessary for just a 3-issue story, but I do appreciate when books
that
do
too.
that. It's one of the things I like a lot about Marvel.
Yeah, I definitely like that. I like to get a little bit of synopsis, especially if you're just picking it up for the first time.
Correct.
So let's get to another question. Favorite hardcover behind you?
Damn. That is a
Thanks
good
for
one.
asking the good questions today.
Crap. Oh, geez, that's a hard one. Why'd you do that? Damn it. This might be a bit of recency bias, but I just recently finally sat down and read all 3, there you go, deluxe hardcovers of Criminal. I love this book. I binged it in like a weekend. I love Criminal. I am very excited to sit down and binge read all 3 of these hardcovers again. You can't see it, but I got like 4 Swamp Thing absolutes down below me that I'm quite partial to. I know Tessa will approve of that answer, but I also really think that's the truth.
You must really love that Criminal. This is either the 3rd or 4th time on this stream that you brought it up.
Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips are my
Yeah.
pick for best creative team of all time. My favorite creative team.
I think you influenced me to pick up a copy or at least read it digitally because now I'm curious. Well, what's got you so engaged with it? I've never read it, so
It's just really cool crime detective stuff. Not detective stuff, more so crime stuff. Obviously, Criminal is the name of the book. It's a crime story.
I love that stuff. Lisa
yeah.
Noble, when can we expect new merch? Serious question because T-shirts was the takeaway. So see,
New merch.
I'm not the only person that actually is on this merch kick.
Good question. I'll have to actually bring that up now that there's apparently demand. You know, because the only, as far as I know, the only shirts we have aren't really specific to us.
I think we might have to start a campaign. We might have to say we want that. Maybe I might have to make a T-shirt saying I want a Fire Guy Ryan T-shirt on it. Maybe that's what we have to do. Teespring, you're good.
I'd share that to my story. You know,
I think I need to do that.
tag me in that one.
I think we need to do that.
Who?
Question: most annoying thing about having Tom as a boss? That's a great question, actually.
This isn't this isn't going to be fair because it's like a compliment. You know, it's a compliment, but it's very annoying.
Also,
Tom is
you're
one of
gonna be
those
very
people-
because he's your boss. You're also going to be very cautious on how you answer that because he is
Well,
your
no,
boss.
I mean, I find it very annoying because I am not this way, but it's what enables him to be the successful person he is. He is able to multitask, and he's a very fast person. Like, he doesn't stop moving. He is able to do 10 different things at once all day, every day. And I can't do that. I don't work that way. I have to focus on
he
one
seems
thing,
like he's
finish
all
one
over the
thing, move
place.
on to the next, that sort of stuff.
Like he seems like he's like million different directions at the same time, like on super turbo speed at
Yes.
all times. That's one of the things that actually got me engaged with him when he was doing it when I first started watching a lot of these videos, because he's like, I don't know, bombastic. I don't know what the word is, but he's like a super Mr. Energy.
Yeah, you might be able to say off camera he's like 1 or 2 notches under that, but not much.
Yeah, it can't be fake. That kind of energy, you can't just like come up with it. Like
There's a certain amount of like camera, you know,
Yeah, sure,
like
but-
Comic Fam, it's the hottest books of the week, you know, like whatever, you know, speech he likes to do every single week. But he definitely has
So
that kind of
all the
manic
flailing of
energy.
the arms. So the flailing of the arms and all that stuff that's theatricals. The rest is him.
I'd say the flailing of the arms is more. That's the more honest part. It's more some of the speech patterns and the way he talks. But like when he's not on camera, homeboy's moving. Like he doesn't sit down. I don't like to move. He's very active and busy and somehow able to accomplish all of the things he tries. Whereas I can't do that. I can't work at that level.
You're more a laid back guy, and which makes a good synergy between the two of you guys. Because I think if he was dialed up on a freaking 12 and you're doing the same thing, I think it'll blow everybody's mind.
Yeah, I couldn't sit through that.
And I think it'd probably make a very awful work environment if everybody was working at that kind of pace. Because I think you'd burn each other's batteries out.
No, that's very true.
Let's see. We got one from Axel and Dracula. It is true, you know. Who would win a fight, Bearded Comic Bro or John's Comics with Kids? Are you familiar with those two channels?
Those are possibly my two greatest friends in this community. I love those guys, but neither. I honestly can't see. Like, I would love to watch like the two of them get locked in a cage with like some weapons or something. I don't know how this would go about happening, but I don't. It's more of an insult to both of them. I don't see either one of them having any sort of scrappiness.
Well,
Maybe in like some sort of Squid Game, you know, like if they don't fight each other, someone gets killed. Like I don't know. It's a toss up.
Maybe that's what's necessary. You throw them into the Squid Games and then just see what happens at that point. I think that's the best part. All right, let's see. Comic Toby did not put a Q in front of his question, but I'm not going to ignore him. All right. My question is, do you put some of the books in Mystery Mail Call? Do you actually choose any of the books?
I did in the very beginning, in the first year or so, when we used to do a lot of graphic novels back in the mail call, before we had like exclusives, before we had our own exclusive variants. We would do graphic novels, and those were a pain to source from different shops and stuff. And I didn't have as much attachment to certain ones. I got rid of a lot of the ones I didn't like love, you know, per se. I think I only have like one or two books that survived that initial purge. I donated a lot of my trades and hardcovers to the first few months of the Mystery Mail Call. I also had maybe one long box of issues that I had kept from my like New 52 days when I first started up my pull list. I donated a lot of those. They had I would write what issue and what day it came out on the back of the board. So sometimes some people got some of those in their mail call. Those were from my collection, you know, from a decade ago, but not recently. No, haven't had to do that.
So actually, a lot of those actually came out of your personal collection, in other words.
But
Wow.
also people don't like the kind of books I read. I read modern stuff.
Yeah, you were that guy that just threw a graphic novel in there. I'm like, I want to get comics, and then this guy threw a graphic novel in there.
Well, there was a graphic novel in every mail call anyway. It was just usually some lame random book that we just found or something. I'm like, here, I like this. This is a book I actually cared enough to buy at some point, you know, with my own actual money back in the day. But I'm not too attached, and you know, we need it. We need the inventory.
You just didn't love him anymore, and
Sure.
needed a new home for him to be loved. Understood. Speaking of looking at books and collections, your own collection or anybody else, I recently came across those videos that Tom did with him buying this enormous freaking collection, and they're like, what? They're walking all over the freaking comics, and they're climbing up on it, and making me cringe every moment of the time that they're doing it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not worried about them falling and breaking their heads. They could do that. I'm worried about them crushing the books.
Same.
Have you walked in that area like that?
I was taken there once. It's at there's so many books. It's not at, I'm not even sure where it was, honestly. It's not at Jeff's house. It's at some other house I've never been to before.
Well, they're not going to give you the location. They probably blindfolded you, right?
No, I had the address. It's somewhere. I drove there. but they needed help one day. It was relatively soon after they got the collection, and it was, it's my job now. I'm working with Tom, so my job that day was to come along and help sort through that stuff. And I was there for a few hours at least, and we barely made a dent. Like, you're going through book after book after book after book, and like, this is some collection from some guy who, I don't know what his mentality was, but you've seen it in these shorts where they're not books, they're like bundles of the same book somehow that he collected in mass.
I mean,
So
can you
it's-
share the magnitude of it, like in person compared to the video? Because I could tell how big it is, but I don't think you could really, really get the idea of how many freaking comics that is. Like, how big of a room? Like, if you had to describe to by like giving an example, how big of a space this is?
It was like a 2-car garage, but like full, like all the way to the top, all the way to the back in boxes. And I'm sure there's more. There's probably parts of it that are somewhere else. Like, they had been working on it for a while before I got there.
And did you have
So-
the balls to actually climb up the?
Fuck no,
that
I'm not climbing on
mountain?
that. I'm enormous. Like, there's no way I could do that. No. Also, I would not have the balls no matter what. No.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't climb out with my freaking big
I
ass.
don't like
feet.
touching books with my bare hands, let alone stepping on them.
Here's a great question
Ooh.
from Tessa. Fuck, marry,
Ah.
kill, Tom, Jeff, or Russ?
Whew.
Awesome question, Tessa. You're firing on all cylinders today.
I guess I would marry Jeff. He's got donkeys, and those guys are fun to hang out with.
You're into donkeys?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
lots of land. Jeff is the most financially stable out of all of us. He makes the most sense to latch onto in that sense.
All right,
so I
you
guess
guys
it's-
heard it here.
Huh?
I'm just saying, everybody heard it here. You're into donkeys.
I am into donkeys. Yeah, that could spice up the relationship. Sure.
Okay.
At that point, it's either kill Russ or Tom. Let's kill Tom, just because I feel like he's easier to murder if I was going to murder somebody. So I guess that means I had to get freaky with Russ.
You think Russ is more of a tough guy?
Not necessarily, but I've never fantasized about killing Russ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tom, every day I wake up,
But you have fantasized about killing Tom.
every day when I wake up, man.
All right, just making sure that was the case.
Yeah, you got to make sure you got a good battle plan in case today's the day. Might have to fight for my life.
All right, so you heard it. Tom's a goner. Russ is going to be forever in Fire Guy's bosom,
Correct.
and Jeff is for that, the freakiness with the donkeys. So we got it. All right, good question.
Mostly donkeys. That's the important part.
Donkeys.
Yes.
Take the data from this interview. Nothing else. Question by Bronze Age Nerd. By the way, Bronze Age,
Also, hi.
Ryan actually watched your video.
I watched your video. I subscribed to you today too. I'm a bad YouTube person.
Oh my God, he gave you an endorsement. He enjoyed that comic trope interview that you did. It's so nice to be nice to each other.
I
And
did.
say
I did
thank
enjoy
you.
that very well.
Question: what's your favorite LCS in Washington, excluding Mill Geek? Nobody.
I love Mill Geek, but it's not my favorite. Like, I don't even have to. That doesn't even have to be part of the equation there. I guess I would have to say Phantom Zone. I really like Phantom Zone comics. There is one closer to him, I think, in the South Center Mall, but there's one up closer to me. They have a glorious hardcover selection there, that's what I'm going for. I don't need to dig in back issues or, like I said, I got my pull list set somewhere else. So if I'm going to a shop, I'm going to be drawn mostly to, what kind of absolutes or hardcovers do they have for sale. And Phantom Zone's got a real nice wall of hardcovers.
Phantom Zone. Has that place been around a lot longer than?
I don't know, actually. They just recently moved. The two locations I'm aware of are inside of malls. So I don't know what that means or how long they've been. I know they moved recently from one mall to another nearby me, but I don't know if they've recently, been in a non-mall store, moving into a mall or something. I don't know. I don't go to a lot of different LCSs. I probably
And is
should.
that
But
really your variety that you have in your area? Mostly mall type of shop?
no, actually, I think that's the only one I know of that's in a mall.
Okay. All right. So, how long have you lived in Washington? You grew up
Whole
there
life.
your whole life. So
Oh
you
yeah, I love it here.
okay? So you're not like Tom moving from completely other side of the country into that. So you're the vet. You know Washington.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I'm such an introvert. I know the inside of my house, and I know the route to Tom's, and I know a couple restaurants nearby. I don't know a whole lot. I'm a bad tour guide.
And did you do Emerald City?
I did not this year.
Wow.
It was
shame on you.
just, yeah, it just happened. They've been trying to like adjust their schedule back to normal in March ever since the lockdown. And last year it was in like October or September or something. And now it's like 6 months since the last one. And I'm not ready. Cons take it out of me.
So you're gonna go on like a real tour this year?
And this year I'm going to be going to New York and San Diego for the first time. So I really need to mentally prepare and physically prepare too.
All right. So we're gonna meet face to face in New York when you come there.
Sure. I
We'll
won't.
make a point of that.
You'll have to like show me your hands first. I'll recognize the hands.
Oh, you'll see my hands. Don't worry about it. You'll see them coming from a mile away.
Right.
You might have to call the police, but
Terrifying. But yeah.
I might have to come and give you a big bear hug. Yeah, I'll definitely see you in New York. But that's it. San Diego, New York. You're doing the big boys, and that's it this year.
Except for any other one, I might feel like going to, but yeah, our focus this year is really Crash Down, really writing our book and promoting it at certain cons. So,
and do you feel that that's a necessity, right? You feel that you should have a booth and like have the books there and kind of talk about it? Are you gonna be like doing signings and that kind of thing?
I think that's the plan. Yeah, I'm trying not to think about it too much because cons give me so much anxiety. But yeah, I think we'll be doing signings with Tom and with Ben Templesmith all together, and then separately. I think we're going to be going to different booths, maybe different variant artists or whatnot shows, or I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, but they'll be busy. I'm sure they'll be very busy. Tom equals busy usually.
Yeah. Well, hopefully by then you'll have your merch ready.
We'll see.
Well, we're hoping.
I won't hold my breath, but
oh, it looks like
Bearded and John. Yeah,
it looks like that kind of conversation is still going on here. I mean, we got people saying that John's a little bit more wiry, so the debate continues. I didn't put it in a poll this time, but maybe next time I'll put it in a poll. Who's going to win, Bearded Bro or?
I'll have to ask them too. I'm in a couple group chats with both of them, so maybe I'll bring it up to the group chats. Ooh,
another question: favorite mail call variant you guys have done?
Oh, that's good. Damn, we've had some of my favorite artists in comics do covers for us, which is still kind of mind-boggling to me. The fact that we've had Alex Maleev do, I think he did a Thor cover for us and a new Fantastic Four cover with, I think Kang was on that one. I really like Alex Maleev's Thor that he did for us. We've had a really cool Something is Killing the Children by Raf Grazzetti that I really liked. There's a lot. I don't know how many of them are my favorites, though. It's just I used to be able to rattle them off back in the early days, when there were still a few of them. But now there's like one a month, every month for like, 5 years now almost. So
they kind of blend in after a while, right?
Together.
Yeah,
especially now that I'm not there assembling the mystery mail call like I was for the past few years. So yeah, I'd have to say that Raf Grazzetti, Something is Killing the Children, or Alex Maleev on Thor.
Something else I noticed when you actually get those variants done, you actually get the original art sent to you that I didn't realize that was
not all the time.
Not all the time.
No, that's not part of it. But
pre-negotiated.
I think Russ actually did. I think buy that Alex Maleev Thor artwork. I think we do own that. Well, I think he owns that one. He likes to go big and get original art. I'm not really in that game, but he's a huge Peach Momoko nerd. So he's got it's actually on the set behind Russ on the trending videos. You can see the I think it was the first Peach Momoko art she did for our mystery mail call. It's framed
See, that
behind him.
that would be a great, blow your mind kind of grand prize, or how often Tom would put like one of these big boy books inside the one of the boxes. To be able to get one of those art pieces of that actual variant would be
That'd be cool.
pretty good, because your average comic collector usually never gets an original piece of art on in their hands. The closest they might even get is maybe a sketch cover done by them by an artist, and even those are not. They're getting pricier and pricier done.
If you check out the shorts on our channel, there's a recent one where we got the original art from Johnny Desjardins that he did for Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body. I hate that title. It's way too long. But he did an exclusive for that book for us. And it's a cover I'm very familiar with. I bagged all of those when they came in. But seeing the original art, it's like on this enormous canvas that Tom and I opened up on camera. And it's nuts. It would be cool if we did get every single, if that was part of like the arrangement between the artist and Tom, like if the original art was included too, I imagine we would have at least given away one of them in that sort of, slip in some kind of golden ticket kind of thing into one of the mystery mail calls.
But that'd be very, very blow your mind kind of a thing. And actually, that short itself is what inspired my thought on and question on that. So, very cool stuff. We got another question. Will you thank CJ for the? Will you thank me when the show ends? Well, we'll have to wait until the show ends, right?
So polite, I'll thank you now just in case. But no, I'll remember. And I won't thank you now.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for being so courteous.
I'm a nice guy.
Kill Jeff. Fuck Tom.
Oh, that's his answer. Okay. I thought
right.
two people asked that same question.
Cosmic Toby's on his game as well with all the commentary. Bronze Age Nerd. Question. If you could wield any comic book weapon in your battle with Tom, besides a Lantern Corps power ring, what would it be?
I'm trying to think of what other weapons there are. I feel like most people have powers.
Let's see how violent you could be.
Whew. I'm not violent. I would be defensive, some sort of force field scenario, but you don't have a force field weapon. Sue Storm doesn't have a force field gun. That's just innate abilities that she has. I got to think of a weapon now. I'm drawing a blank.
We're getting technical, right? Like,
right.
Is a power a weapon, or is
a power ring is certainly a weapon? So I could see that, and that's a good starting point. But damn. I guess Mjolnir.
Oh, there you go. You crack him over the head with a hammer.
Yeah, you guys are helping me out by giving very obvious answers that I should have thought of.
Oh my! That should tell you they actually like you. They're bailing you out instead of giving you grief about not being able to figure out a weapon. They're actually that. See, it wasn't just
all of them. I'll choose all of them: the lasso of truth, and the shield, and the hammer.
Well, the lasso of truth.
You still couldn't win against the Green Lantern ring, though. With all that,
the lasso of truth could go a lot of different ways. So I don't know, but let's not venture that bondage dimension right now. All right, I'm gonna take a few more questions. You've been a champ. I don't know how much time you have. I mean, I could keep you on well into the insomniac hours if you like.
I'm surprised I haven't had to go to the bathroom yet, but no, we're good.
That coffee could run through you real fast, huh?
Hasn't done it yet, but I still haven't finished it yet, so we'll see. Will you be I will probably be at SummerCon this year. It's low key enough. It's low key enough, and it's close enough.
You lied to me. You are going to go to other cons.
I might go to that one by myself. I don't really do cons by myself. If I do go to a convention, it's always with Tom as work. But I might go to that one. I don't know what Tom's plans are, and maybe if he is going, then it will turn into a work thing. But we'll see. I would like to go. It's very close.
I think those small cons would be a great promotional tool for you as far as those books are concerned. But
yeah, the timing matches up. Our book's coming out in the summer, and that con is in the summer, so it wouldn't be the worst idea.
Could definitely work that way. John Stout, Question: do you ever go to the shop at Pike Place?
I have not been there. I haven't been to Pike Place in over a decade, probably. You don't do a lot of the touristy stuff in your own city, I guess, but also I'm introverted, and that's a lot of people and stuff.
Plus, you don't want to overpay.
Or that.
Yeah, if it's a touristy thing, you're gonna overpay. Cosmic Toby, question: are you guys at headquarters holding out top 10 of the week because of JP Budget collects a reaction video?
I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'm not 100% sure I'm understanding exactly what the question is, but no.
I'm not so sure either what reaction video he's talking about. I watch JP Budget every so often. I don't watch it on the regular, but maybe I have to go back and see what he's talking about.
Pretty sure I'm subscribed to JP, but I don't watch a lot of the videos of a lot of the people I'm subscribed to, so we'll see.
Well, apparently somebody's stirring up something that we
That's
don't
okay.
know about.
People love stirring up stuff about the lists.
Listen, I think it'd be probably a full-time job for you just to watch reaction videos, and every time you or Tom or any of the crew is mentioned. I'm sure there's multiple videos done a day on that. You know,
I'm sure too.
Every time they put a hashtag or tag you guys on a video, it gets them ratings. So it works.
Go for it.
Well, hey,
that's not a question, Travis.
Yeah, what the hell kind of question are you?
You're bringing out Trump.
Stupid question, that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
That is not a question. That's a statement. He's from Canada.
That's right. We got to give him some slack. It's late over there. No, but really, there was a year or so where I worked at Mill Geek Comics for Russ while also doing stuff with Tom. And I had a lot less to do because I wasn't full-time with Tom. So I had the time to get my books a day early. On Tuesday, I started reading them a day before. So on that Wednesday, I had kind of like how Robbie does it, Pop Culture Philosophers. You know, you read a little early and you get to do that book's reviews on New Comic Book Day. But I do not have that kind of time anymore. I'm lucky if I can finish that week's books by the time next Wednesday rolls around.
Yeah, I could imagine. Got another question by Tessa. Are you interested in the lasso only for bondage? Oh, see, I wasn't the only one that caught on to that bondage statement. There
It's called the of Bondage, after all, right? That's the official name.
Yeah, we got another question here, but he didn't put a Q in front of it. Biggie Q, you have to put a Q in front of these questions. How much? It's 11:30. It's late enough. How much pussy does Ryan get on a daily basis?
On a daily basis?
On a daily basis.
Not enough.
Which brings us back to the question we ask all our guests. What is your current situation? Are you hot to trot? Are you available to the masses? Do you have some kind of a committed relationship that you're in? If people start sending you their OnlyFans, would you be open to that? Like, what's going on with you?
I'm always open to receiving those kind of messages, but I am in a very committed relationship with Tom's cat Butch.
Uh-oh.
I love that guy.
Oh, so that means you're off the market, huh?
Oh, as far as Butch is concerned, he gets very protective and jealous.
So
he likes to bite. He has claws, you know.
He's the only pussy you're into.
Correct. That's it.
I love
him more than my own cats. my cat's right there looking at me too. He knows I'm trash talking him.
So it looks like I finally got through all the questions. Look at that. Wow.
Is that it?
Wow, that was it. Ryan feels upset. You didn't give him enough questions. Enough hard questions. But what do you think? Were they easy on you? Did they give you a hard time?
Well, Tessa always gives me a hard time, but that's okay.
Well, I think they're good. I think you were right on key with all the questions. We got one last one right here by Dr. Plagueis. Did this just turn into talk sex with Sue Johansson? Well,
who the hell's that?
I don't know.
Is she another wrestler that I don't know?
I don't know who Sue Johansson is, but we tend to not have these conversations in the interviews. We try to keep that for the Insomniac hours, and
Family show.
yeah, this is a family show. We try to avoid it because the gazillions they watch it on the replay with their children and the whole family, and it gets
People
a little
gathered
bit
around the fire, getting ready to watch Comic Journey with the
yeah,
kids.
it gets a little rough. Which, by the way, you need to jump on one of these nights as far as the Insomniac is concerned.
That's true. Might have to do it on my phone while I'm working, but
When we got a full panel on, you need to jump on there and just drop a couple of pieces of knowledge, and then
slip
jump
in,
right
slip
off.
out. That's it.
Yeah, slip in, slip out.
That's the
We
way
get
to
a
do
lot
it.
in the Insomniac. Question: was there a question you were scared to get?
I'm scared of a whole bunch of stuff.
I think if
But-
it was something that scared you, you would not be admitting to that right now, so you can be asked that.
Exactly. No, I guess. I don't know. Scared is the right word, but I would have expected. I'm glad there's not more questions about like the trending list and all that stuff. I think we got those out of the way last time I was on this show.
Wait, did you want me to be harder on you? Is that
Oh,
you want?
always
did you want
hard.
Me, did you? Was I too soft on you?
That's a problem when you get older, though, right? That's what I hear.
It happens, The good thing for the blue pills, but
Exactly.
But did I take it too easy? I got I got criticism.
I heard that.
I got criticism that I was too soft on you guys last time.
We were hard on you.
Well, yeah, you trolled me through the whole damn video.
I thought he was going to get up and zoom out and make it normal. I didn't realize he was doing the hands the whole damn time, but
I didn't know
Whatever.
what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. At least I got a face cameo at the end of it, but how much harder am I going to get a guy on you? Like, what am I going to tell you guys? I already told you I hate Ninja Funk. Like, I
true.
hate it. Like, I'm sure you got a whole storage facility full of them.
we actually don't. I'm in charge of loading all the books into our Whatnot show, so I see all of like the inventory we have available for, for selling, and we didn't get a whole lot of them. I think we have our exclusive, but we have a whole bunch of our exclusives of all kinds, laying around there. We always order more than we use because of damages and stuff.
I already criticized the hell out of you, and I took a whole segment of this interview about
Shirts.
your poor branding ventures. Very disappointing. By the way, I'm going to say that again.
I'm disappointed too.
I mean,
okay.
here's you want to ask a hard question? Ask the hard question now. Here's your opportunity. One last moment for you all to ask your most jarring question to
Travis has a
Fire
good
Guy.
one,
Let's see what he.
and that one's actually a question this time.
Yeah, I was about to say. Let's see what he says. Scott Snyder or Jeff Lemire?
That's a good question.
Controversial.
And that's actually kind of controversial.
Well, I know where his bias goes.
Yeah, he's a big Jeff Lemire boy.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Canadians stick together.
That's true. They're notorious for that.
Mm-hmm.
I like and dislike books from both of them. I just pre-ordered the Absolute Court of Owls by Scott Snyder. That was in the catalog this last month, so I am excited to get that book. I do love Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing run. I think that was criminally underrated and overlooked because he was also doing Batman at the exact same time. But I think
He was great in Batman. I mean, you can't take anything away from that. I liked his run in Batman.
yeah, I actually also like it a little. Most people drop off after Court of Owls or maybe the Joker storyline that came right after, but I enjoyed it. I liked the stuff with was Jim Gordon in that weird like Batman mech suit thing at the end, and Mr. Bloom, and I think it had cool stuff at the end too. But I don't love Nocterra. That's a book he's doing right now. I'm not really a big fan of Nocterra.
But it's been optioned.
It has
it's
been
good.
optioned.
And everybody that has a number one of that, depending on which variant you bought, is going to be worth gazillions of dollars.
I haven't sold mine yet, and so I guess I don't know what the hell that is though. I don't spec very well, but I am reading Severed. I have the whole run. I have the Boss Logic variant though. I don't know if that's the one that's going to pop off.
So are you leaning Lemire or Snyder?
I don't know. I don't love a lot of Jeff Lemire either. I also haven't read a lot of his bigger stuff. I haven't read Descender or actually I have both hardcovers of Gideon Falls right back here. I've read the first trade of Gideon Falls, and I liked it enough to know that I wanted to wait and read the whole thing. So when I catch up on my pull list and I get time, that's also in contention for something I want to make time to read.
You might enjoy Primordial.
I did like Primordial. I did read that as it came out. Primordial was a tearjerker. That was a cool book.
Jeff Lemire for me is hit or miss.
I think he hits a little more than Scott Snyder, especially lately. I don't love a lot of Scott Snyder books now, but I think he's still really good. I'm still reading Undiscovered Country, which is, hit or miss, but it's not bad, and I haven't dropped it. I guess I don't drop books though. That's a little secret.
Oh, you don't drop them? You just endure the hell?
I don't drop books. It's a bad habit of mine. That's one of the reasons I prefer miniseries, because they end naturally and I don't have to drop them. I just get the whole run and it's over. But it would have to be a really bad time for me to drop a book.
I hope you're getting a discount on all those books that you're enduring and not paying.
Plus, I sell a lot of them on Whatnot too. Like I said, I got 16 short boxes and I don't have room for more boxes. So if I'm not getting rid of about as many books as I'm bringing in every week, then I'm drowning.
Are you going to start doing Whatnot shows on your own?
Oh, no. I hope not. If I do, it's because I was forced to.
They're not going to slot you in for the Fire Guy hour?
I mean, if I was able to do all of my own books and like just flush a whole bunch of my books, like I've got a long box right underneath me right now. That's books that I am getting ready to load into Whatnot and sell. But once a week, I'm in a show with Tom or with Aaron, actually on a Friday show, and I bring 4 sets of books to load into each one of those shows. And I do, because I'm trying to make space, I do like a whole story arc at once. So I'll load, like issues 1 through 6 of something and just say, start at $1, whatever, you take it from me, please. I'm not in it for money. I just want the room. I want to get rid of this. Some random, Spider-Man story arc, for example. Gotten rid of a lot of those.
Well, I get it. I definitely get it. It gets way too much. And I was actually, I'll tell you something about that whole Whatnot thing. I was actually shocked that Nerdy Girl's not part of that Whatnot Wednesday crew.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was shocking. Is there anything juicy behind the scenes other than just like didn't work out?
I'm not part of Whatnot Wednesday crew either. I got all of my information.
Oh, you're part of it. Don't be a denier.
I'm actually not. I load Tom's show on Wednesday. I package Tom's show afterwards on Wednesday, but I don't want to be a part of.
You hold the camera. I've seen you. You hold the camera.
I'm not even there on Wednesday. I hold the camera on Friday and Monday.
Wait, was it Mondays? Mondays. That's when.
Monday sometimes, but Wednesday I steer clear.
Oh, you're not allowed on Wednesdays. In other words,
I'm allowed. I'm usually sometimes I'm like waiting outside for the show to wrap up so I can run in and grab the books and get the hell out. But
if it was up to you, you'd do anything but that, right?
I don't really enjoy being on Whatnot a lot. It takes a lot out of me.
It's exhausting. People don't realize you have to be a freaking damn entertainer to.
Tom's good at it.
Yeah,
he can go hard. He can go long, but I need a break.
You definitely have to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
You see, there are more people that are disappointed with you not knowing who Bang Bang Bigelow is.
Well, if I ever need to know who a wrestler is, Big E's going to be the first person I DM after the show.
I'm gonna bring up a picture so you can see who he is. In the meantime, let's.
How many people have I kissed?
How many people have you kissed?
Not a lot. It's a small number.
Not cats. People.
Oh, if it was cats, that'd be, and donkeys. There's all kinds of other animals to throw in the mix. But people, she said people specifically. So less than 10.
Less than 10.
Yeah. I don't know. Between 5 and 10.
Less than 10.
Told you, man. I'm an introvert.
Wow. I would have thought Fire Guy Ryan would be Fire Guy Stud. No, only 10 girls.
I can be a stud and not be, out and about, a man about town.
Oh, you're more conservative. You like to save the Fire Guy for only a select few.
Sure, it's like a power up. I like to charge up and pow, like you get a good kiss. That's how it works.
That makes a lot of sense that way. All right, so I did find an image of Bam Bam Bigelow.
Who shouted this out in the chat just a minute ago? Because I do have that book and I do love it. This is definitely my favorite Scott Snyder book.
Which book is that? Let me see.
Severed. I don't know who it was in the chat that just said that, but I love you. Good call. It's one of my favorite books of all time.
It is a good book.
Very creepy.
When I-
Underrated.
When I find them in the chat, because like they're coming faster than I'm keeping up with them.
You guys are all over it now. I don't know where
Yeah.
you were like 10 minutes ago.
There you go.
Oh God.
And Ben Bigelow.
What is that hair doing?
Come on, that's Bam Bam Bigelow. Look at that.
So
he's even got tattoos of flames on his head. That's not
Is
hair.
that what that is? That's not hair.
tattoos.
Okay, I guess that's better. Is that better or worse than having hair that looks like that?
I don't know, but this is
Holy-
him.
That is not what I would have expected.
This is who you got. You got Bam Bam Bigelow. But you see what I'm talking about with the flames and all that stuff? A nice big Ryan, fire guy Ryan all over there with the flames going on. You could even do a costume like this. How about that? You know? Oh, you'll be the true fire guy, Ryan. That's merch. This is gold, baby. It's gold, baby. You can look. You can even make little stickers of yourself.
That's something.
You know?
Oh,
would-
now
I
I know
would-
what this guy looks like.
I would not advise actually. Look, he's got a little action figure out of him.
Yeah, I don't want to step on his merch. You know, that guy could beat me up.
He's
And
good now, so
John
you don't have
Thomas
to worry
kid.
about it. You know, you don't have to worry about it.
those
But-
are tattoos. Okay, I thought that was a freaky ass hairline he had.
No, this guy was freaky tattoo before freaky tattoo was a mainstream thing. There you go. There you go. See, I taught you something today. I enlightened you. I influenced you with something.
You influenced me.
There you go. Let me get rid of this. Wait, what the hell happened there? Anyway,
He's always popping in.
you freaking guy, man. All right, how do we get rid of this? All right, we're out of there.
Amateur.
Amateur. It's amateur hour here.
Oh,
You know.
now I know who Bam Bam is.
Now you know exactly who he is, and we made
Still think it's the Flintstones.
we made Biggie really happy because he's like a huge wrestling guy, so he got to see a wrestling little thing today in here. So
Bet
There
you
you
didn't think
go.
you'd see that when I was on this show, Biggie.
nope, you definitely didn't. You know, but you know, you gotta take that element and do it. You have to do it. Let's see a fire guy mug. Let's see a fire guy shirt. Let's see you in fire guy stretchy pants.
I got to negotiate a cut out of all this, right? I assume I get some kind of cut if I'm on merch.
Yeah, yoga pants. You gotta do fire guy yoga pants. That's what the world wants.
I'm sure.
When are you
When are
gonna
you gonna
steal?
steal Green's new girl? That's the other way around, man, right? He's the one.
Well, I think it would be appropriate if somebody now steals her from him, right?
Nah. Too much work.
Isn't that drama? Like seriously, we're like talking about comic books and stuff like that. All of a sudden, it becomes about who's going to steal whose wife.
That whole situation took a turn though last summer. You know,
Oh, my, did it ever? I mean, that that gave the YouTube community and the Instagram community plenty of fodder to work with. Plenty. I would never have thought in a million years on comic book channels, on nerd channels, on pop culture channels that would be the topic of conversation.
me neither.
You
And
know?
of course, it's the only time I've ever been to C2E2 that happens.
You were face front with all that action happening.
At that, I don't even remember what day that happened, but like I said, I don't love cons. They take it out of me. And I was brought to that con strictly to like package orders after Whatnot shows. So that day, more likely than not, I was holed up in a hotel room watching probably HBO or something on my phone, just with a tape gun, packaging stuff in a hotel room in Chicago.
Oh, you
Had a nice
definitely
view
dodged-
though.
Well, nice view, and you dodged that bullet because everybody that was
guess.
there got hell. It was just like,
Even people that weren't there.
yeah, that's true.
I think
That's
Tom's
true.
dad got dragged into it or something.
It's
Actually,
so
Tom's
weird.
dad was the reason I was there. That's what happened. He was sick or something that weekend. He couldn't go. So I was I drew the short straw, so to speak, and I had to go help package.
And you were fortunate enough to miss the the Peach Momoko debacle, right? You don't get to see her hiding under the table.
What
or
was that,
anything
New
like
York, Baltimore,
That was
something?
New York, yeah.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I got to see it. You know, it was nice.
Uh-oh.
You know, but hey, I felt bad for the lady, you know. But what are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
right. Didn't she, like, her whole thing blew up like during the pandemic, and then like she got super popular like while there were no cons, and then her first con, like, that happens.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, it's
or at least her first American con. I don't know.
I'm not gonna say that she's without blame. There's a little bit of blame on her on that because she
I don't
did
know enough of
offer.
the story.
Well, the thing is, she offered so much as far as value, which is a great thing for her fans and everything like that. But when you got a con like New York that there's lines going through the door, basically,
Yeah.
and everybody wants them, and she's offering 10 signatures and one sketch for each person. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's
Yeah,
a
it sounds
lot.
like something I would do. Like, you underestimate how, how cool you are. And then you show up and it's like, oh, people are here. Shit, I need to do something else.
Like, it blew up in her face. Like, I know that she did it with all the best intentions, but somebody should have advised her that was a bad mistake. Don't do that. 1, 2, that's it. You know,
Yeah.
maybe if you want to give an extra one to like a VIP member or whatever, God bless you. But keep the line going. You know, that's what needed to be done. A lady in comics you swoon over. Well, who would that be? Fire guy Ryan. Who do you swoon over? Who pulls at your heartstrings?
Oh man. I just got done reading the final issue of Human Target this last week, and I don't know if you're reading that, but Ice in that book is swoon worthy, but also terrifying at the same time. And again, that's someone with ice powers, to bring it back full circle. But that lady's hot and cold and terrifying and adorable all at once, and it's like, I don't know how I feel. That book made me feel too many feelings.
All right, so we're establishing that you're into frigid women. So that's a good thing.
Correct. Oh yeah, cold, emotionless. Yeah, but also sexy.
I mean, Cosmic Toby.
Stupid question, that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
I just get this image of Donald Trump watching comic book YouTube in his spare time, and that makes me smile.
Well, he does. He's one of the lurkers in here.
Right?
He doesn't
Like,
use his real name because YouTube canceled him. You know, like Twitter. But he does lurk in here under alias accounts. So be wary.
I imagine him having opinions about Clayton Crane and all this stuff too. Like, it makes me smile.
He's never gonna. You never know where he's gonna pop up and lurk and maybe steal somebody's girlfriend. You never know. You know,
Apparently.
I would freaking pay $1 gazillion to see Donald Trump steal Clayton Cade's girlfriend. It would be the funniest thing on earth to me, at least. You know? But I'm a weird guy, so
yeah.
As far as the $4.99 cover prices, I mean, it's common knowledge. If you're getting from Penguin, 50% off is basically the bulk rate as far as the top thing, right?
Technically, I'm still an employee at Millgate Comics. I worked there for over a year, but I get that half off. So yeah.
You know,
I guess cost is that how you say it? Is that cost? Is that what they pay? I don't know what Russ pays for a book, but
cost.
Yeah.
You know, so if
nothing fancy.
If you're gonna be getting them at the wholesale rates, that's basically the best you can. It used to be a little bit better with Diamond.
So I am, even though I do have a big pull list, it adds up, and I still have to be a little cautious. I'm not buying. That's one of the. Well, obviously that's that, and I don't want 3 different variants for the same issue. Like, I want to read it and I want to move it and get done with it so I can get new books. You know, selling helps too.
Let me see. Do we got anybody else? I just want to make sure I get in there. I mean, if you're compiling stuff in short boxes, doesn't matter if you got it for free. It's taking up your space.
That's the main problem I'm learning. Yeah, is I need room.
Will you go as Fire Guy Fieri for Halloween this year?
That's not the worst idea. I haven't dressed up for Halloween in so long. I'm the most boring person in the world.
Yeah, you get a yellow wig.
It wouldn't be hard. I mean, we're similarly shaped, I think.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't watch his show at all, but I think
you'd have to get a little creative with that mustache a little bit as far as what he does with it. I
I
think
don't
he
even know
has,
what his. I just know he's got the weird like frosted hair or whatever the hell. He's got like tips or something.
and he does frost his beard a
He
little
does
bit.
this a lot or something like Doctor Strange.
There's a little grooming going on there, a little unique Fieri grooming going on. So, hey,
Yeah, it'd be a lot of work.
who's your favorite comic cat?
Assuming we're not talking about Butch or
We're not.
Cat in My Lap.
Is Butch in a comic book?
I wish. If he is, I'm not aware yet.
So, who is the favorite comic cat then?
That's a good question. What comic cats are there? See, I feel like I keep drawing blanks on these questions. I'm
They
thinking
suck
about
you so much today.
Lockjaw and Throg, but those aren't cats. those are cool comic pets that I know of. Why can't I think of any cats? I know there are some. That's a terrible answer.
How about felines in general?
I guess the one from Saga comes to mind. Lion Cat. Eh.
Not the cat from Ninja Funk. No,
Oh,
not-
Wolfgang. I mean, only because Wolfgang's a real cat who I might, eventually potentially have the possibility to actually meet someday. But Dexter. Thank you, Tessa. Yes. Thank you. The Red Lantern.
all right.
Dexter's cool.
All right, so she got the she asked and she answered her own question for you.
Tessa's saving my bacon.
How'd that work? That's perfect. Thundercats, that would have been a good answer. Any of them, they're like cat people. So they
Before my time.
Huh? Not into the Thundercats, not into the 80s
Comics
cheesy
or shows. Yeah, 80s. The whole 80s. I missed.
No He-Man for you, no Thundercats for you, no Snorkels, no
Transformers.
Smurfs, Transformers, a
G.I.
little
Joe. all
Rainbow
that stuff.
Bright, none of that.
Nope. I was I was a Ninja Turtles Power Rangers kid.
Oh my god, I hate Power Rangers.
I don't
Well,
like it now, but I loved it when I was little.
I always thought of them as a really bad knockoff for Voltron. Are you aware of Voltron?
I'm aware of it and that it's a knockoff of Power Rangers. Universe.
Well, it's not possible for Voltron to be the knockoff. They're the OG.
They went to the future, saw what Power Rangers was doing, and then went back to the 80s and one upped them.
Another multiversal kind of the
That's it.
debate. Worst comic you've ever read? With Googly Eye.
Oh, man, worst comic I've ever read. The book Deep Beyond comes to mind by Mirka Andolfo, unfortunately. She's a cool artist. I like her art, but this story, I think maybe more so because of what I wanted the story to be and what it turned into were two completely different things. And again, because I can't drop a book, I stuck with it and I read it all the way through, all 12 issues of this book that was advertised as kind of a Lovecrafty underwater horror story, which is my jam. It's kind of what we're writing ourselves, Tom and myself. But this book turned into like a sister trying to find her lost sister in a parallel dimension, and it's translated from Italian, and I think there was some stuff just lost in the mix. And some writer artists, I think, need to pick a lane.
I think you might be the only person I've ever spoken to that actually did read that whole series.
Yeah, it was kind of a running joke in a couple of group chats of mine. Like they gave
I
me
only
crap.
lasted about 3-4 issues, and I don't know how I lasted that long.
Yeah, I didn't like it. The art's cool. I like Marika's art, but her writing is not for me, I think.
Well, I think we answered everything, right? I think we had a fairly moderate interview where we didn't get too pervasive on you, right? We're nice about it, right? But we did not take it easy on you, as many of my critics have said. They had the opportunity to get rough with you and give you all the salty questions and everything. They asked everything they wanted. You answered everything. You might have been a little slow on the weapon answers and stuff like that, but
And the pets, yeah.
and pets answers. We'll give you a pass on that because when you ask the tough questions, the difficult ones like that, it makes you hesitate a little bit. Yeah. Look, one last. All right, I'm gonna do one last question. Okay, one last
Go.
question. Aggressively relaxing. Do you perceive Blade as doing a good job or bad job with these damn vampires?
Bad? They're still around, right? Blade does not have an ongoing book right now, but I know vampires are running all around Moon Knight. Where's Blade when you need him? I still haven't seen those movies, by the way.
You've never seen a Blade movie?
Never saw Blade.
Any Blade movie? Any?
Mm-mm.
Are you aware of them?
I know they exist. I'm aware Ryan Reynolds isn't one of them. There's vampires in them.
Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, that too.
Seriously, you've never seen a Blade movie?
Never
You've
watched.
seen the X3 and you've never seen a Blade movie?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
It's supposed to be really good.
You
A lot I haven't seen though.
You have to see them. Yeah.
I haven't seen Ghostbusters yet either.
Yes, we know. You asked about vagina. We know that. We're very clear.
You
about
did.
that.
Worded differently before, but yeah. I
Yeah,
remember.
Yeah, it was worded a little differently, but we know that we got into genitalia. Okay, so we know all about that. Bronze. Do you want me to get more heart pounding on these questions or not? Like, is there something that you want me to throw at him? Tell me. I'll throw it at him. Oh, speaking of which, you know what? There was a little bit of a controversy that happened the other week. Last week, I think there was some kind of mixed communication between Jem Mint, my next guest, and Tom. And it looked like, I don't know how staged that was or how real that was, as far as him not showing up for a top 10 and a certain type of taping. What's going on with that?
Is that what the beef was about? I don't know what the hell the beef, why there was a beef.
Well, we're not clear because we got these ominous type of posts that came out from Tom, and we couldn't quite figure out exactly what's going on there. I chalked it out to be some kind of publicity stunt, but I'm not sure
Right.
what the case was.
Oh no, it's real. It's so real. They're so beefing.
So I got to get on this with Jem. In other
Fists
words.
are flying. Yeah, you'll have to get on with Jem. He'll probably rage and just throw his
won?
computer against the wall when you ask him. I'm sure he's so mad.
Who won that fight?
I got no idea. If they ever did get in a fight, though, I'd put money on Jem Mint over Tom.
Well, he's like a freaking workout machine now, right?
Yeah, I love Tom, but
And he looks like he's a little bit meaner, right? I think he's got like a street edge to him a little
although
bit.
Tom might have the agility, he
That's
could
true.
probably dance and jump around him. Like
And he could probably run faster than him too.
I
could
would
see him.
imagine.
But was there anything? Seriously, was there anything to that?
No, I think it was just for show.
It was just like out of nowhere, just like
Unless there actually was a beef that I wasn't aware of. But as far as I know, the entire beef was
was that you coming up with that idea? Was that like one of your like?
I don't come up with ideas.
Are you a Howard Stern fan? Have you ever listened to Howard Stern?
No. My parents used to.
I can't even give you a comparison to the Howard Stern show, where he had his own cast of characters and they all had their place. And there was one guy, Sal Governale, that always came up with these either awesome skits like bits or the worst bits in the world. And I was wondering who came up with that bit. Who's the Sal Governale from that crew? I'm not sure yet.
I'm not the Sal guy.
Governale.
Yeah.
Sal. Or Sal the stockbroker, as they used to call him.
Yeah, not me.
I'm
boring.
Well, I'll tell you something. My money would be on Jem hip hopping all over freaking Tom if I had a bet like in Vegas in that fight. I can't see Tom winning that fight. But hey, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe it'd be
put your money on Tom and you get rich. That's how that works, right?
Maybe you know what? Depending on the odds, maybe I put a little bit on Tom and put the bigger amount on Jem, and I'll win at the end. Who knows? Who knows? But
this is
that'd
why I
be
don't
interesting.
gamble.
That's why we need comic community death matches.
Yeah, that's the next big
To
thing.
answer all these questions.
Thin the herd a little bit.
You know, big blockbuster. I think people will pay big money to do that. So
We'll start with Bearded and John.
well, they would start it off, of course. We'll ease our way up to Tom and how you call it, Gem Mint. There was a big other comic community thing that went on between Nick GQ. I don't know if you heard about that kind of thing that was happening between him and another guy, another whatnotter. I forgot who it is. Everybody fights with everybody. That's our nature. That's basically
I guess.
You know, I really wish there was something to it. That would have been an interesting death match. We could have seen, like, you know, set it up like the old MTV death matches and gotten guest celebrity referees and everything. Bring it up to Tom.
Yeah.
You know, after you bring up the merch thing, tell him, you know,
Start with t-shirts and then work up to deathmatch.
let's get a t-shirt out there so the audience could all wear the t-shirts and start getting into it like a good old-fashioned wrestling event, and then build up to the match. That's what we need to. You know, Tom rules, Mint sucks, or something like that. You know, we got
Sells itself. That's great.
I think so.
Great idea.
You know.
Ugh.
Okay, the winner gets the comics like Pogs. Like
I just want Gems Omnis. I don't care about comics. I want the Omnis.
Yeah, he's definitely the Omni Man. He's the Omni Man, and he's a statue man. But
More absolutes than Omnis. I don't love an omnibus.
Are you going to be watching during that show? Or are you going to say you're too busy?
I don't know if I'll be there live. It's Wednesday, right?
No, Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. Damn, that's another day.
I can't get Gem on a Wednesday.
Tuesday, I'm recording with Gem, or I'm not. I'll be in the room when they're recording the Hot 10, but I'll see Gem on Tuesday.
I mean, he's not a diva like you as far as giving me the difficulties as far as the date's concerned, but you know,
has Golden Age Guru even answered your DMs yet?
He has begun to.
See, now who's the real diva?
You know why he has begun to? Because during one of your whatnot thing, I called him out on it.
Oh, I remember that.
And Tom embarrassed him. And so now he's answering some of my DMs. We still haven't narrowed it down. I haven't really given him so much grief yet because I actually want him to commit to it. And then when he does, I'm gonna give him the grief in the world, all the grief in the world about being a diva. This guy's so freaking difficult. Why the hell is he so difficult to answer a question?
He's got like a life. He's got real stuff to do. He's got like children and, you know, a wife and a farm.
Give me a damn date or tell me drop dead.
Right?
Either way, don't tease me. Don't tease me.
Other.
Don't tease me. Don't tell me, hey, I'm thinking about doing it. Yeah, I would love to do it. And then I'm like, okay, would this date work? Would this date? Would this date? Silence. Just silence.
Of that. I did that a little bit.
A little bit, but you know, eventually you got back to me. You know, this guy, I keep prodding. I got to be a prick to him and just keep poking at him. You know, I don't like being the prick. I like to, like, you know.
When you do get him on, tell him I said I would marry him over Tom and Russ.
Oh, absolutely. We might have to replay that actually for him.
There you go.
I think he might have to see that happen. You know, but
I wonder what his choices would also be. Not the same.
You know what? We might have to make that a ongoing part of these interviews. I think we might have to. You know what, Tessa? You might have started something there. I might have to do a poll the next Insomniac and see if people want to see that. Would you want to see that? Would you want to know the question, the answer of who you F marry?
I know the answer, man.
He I'm
the obvious one. Lock me down.
You really think he would marry you?
Oh yeah, I ain't getting killed. No one's gonna kill me.
You seem quite confident,
right? Even then, you know, go ahead and kill me. There's worse options.
Is it that you have like this oozing machismo that would make Jeff really want to, you know, be married to you forever?
No, Jeff's the macho man.
Yeah. What if he just wants you for a quick in and out and then gone?
I'd accept it.
Maybe you take that as long as you're not the dead one, right?
Sure.
All right.
Chop me up and feed me the donkeys, though. I'll take anything.
Oh, we're going back to the donkeys. We have to talk about this all fair as far as your bestiality things going on over here.
His donkeys are so cool. Like, we used to go to his house to do claim sales, and I would be a little late because I'd parked my car, and right over there would be like 2 or 3 donkeys who would like run over to the edge of the fence to come see you when you get out of the car. They're cute little guys. I had to go say hi. They're fun. Donkeys are cool.
Donkeys and cats. What other animals we're going to bring up here? Well, let's not venture too deeply into that. But donkeys. There you go. Yeah, you don't worry about it, Bronze. I might have to do a quick jump onto one of your streams one of these days, and I have to bring that question up. I think that the more I think about it, I think that question has to become a staple of these interviews. I think so.
I'm glad you got something out of this.
I think so. I think that's the best thing we got. The donkeys that we got out of you, I think, were great. I think that the fact that we know what your position against frigid females is great as well. I think we did a lot here. We did a really, really deep dive into the fire guy Ryan. For a guy that's so fiery into so cool type of characters, it's a little bit of a weird connection. The fire and ice connection, I think we got going on over here.
I'm a very contradictory man.
I think
a lot of depth and layers.
I think so. I'm really, really excited to see where your contradictory thoughts bring you into the story that you're creating. We're looking July, right?
July, August, and September. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Are we going to be on target? Are we? Is Tom going to be a drill sergeant to make sure that they get
as far as I know,
published and distributed on time?
Thankfully, again, that's more his job. I'm writing. I'm helping write, and I get to kind of sit in the back seat when it comes to the negotiation stuff, the deadlines, the calls with editors and publishers and stuff. I mean, I'm on the calls with the editor, but publishing stuff and variant talk and all the deadline submissions, and that's I don't want to do that.
Well, it's super exciting, and I wish you much success, and hopefully this is the first of many big projects for you to come. And I don't mean that in it with any sarcasm whatsoever. I always strive for everybody to do the best when they're putting all their efforts into things. And if it's not successful and it's terrible, that's okay. You got to feel
it happened.
It's okay. You got to fail before you do something. Before you get to that win. It always happens like that.
True.
But it's always nice to win with the first shot. You'd rather have the successes first and then the failures. But either way, it's exciting. We're excited for you. I put in link to your YouTube channel, which is kind of like not being used, but it's there.
Thank you.
And we would love one day for everybody should subscribe to it. So one day when you actually finally decide to put up a video again, we'll be, hey, what is this?
What's happened here?
Fire guy Ryan is doing a video out of nowhere. It must be important. We need to watch this.
Oh, now it's pressure. Now I got to do an important one.
I think so. I think you need to put one together. I put your IG in there. Is there anything very important? Any other links? Anything else that you find that you need to share with the rest of the world? Do you do a Twitch? Do you do IG? Do you have an OnlyFans that you want me to connect everybody with?
No, but now apparently I should start one.
Well, you definitely do. I again, no merch, no OnlyFans, none of that.
Can't get a T-shirt, but yeah, I got to start up an OnlyFans.
I think you need to add that all in the mix.
Exactly.
So
it's part of the diet.
So I will give everybody my full endorsement as far as you, because I want you to come back on here sometime.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you my full endorsement.
Thank you.
We all love Fire Guy Ryan. You are our first ever second-time guest on the show.
Hear that, Bronze Age nerd, Chris? I beat you.
Nobody will ever be able to take away from that.
Well, I'm 1.5. And he
Well,
could
yeah.
beat me by coming on again. Should I know what that is? I don't know what that is. It sounds sexual, though.
Well, maybe. It depends on what you make of it. You could be the cat daddy. So Bronze, he got you by a half because you
1.5.
you kind of bullied your way into that interview. Well, we all know that, like, you manhandled Tom and said, "Listen, I want my time to shine. Damn it, I need to show my hands off, just like you." We all know that was the case, But I'm happy that you're my first second-time guest, and hopefully you're our first 3-time guest at some time in the future.
Well, now it's a competition, so yeah, we'll see. I'll just jump in Gem Mints too. I'll be like 1.5, bump up to 2.
There you go. So until the next time, people, I thank you all for enduring this time with us. I thank you all for your comments, the good ones, the bad ones, and the stupid ones. I appreciate you all for that. I appreciate Fire Guy Ryan. Thank you very much, Ryan, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And spending our time with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
No, thank you.
And thank you to everybody who is here still, like a bunch of weirdos. Thank you.
I thank you all for choosing us over Last of Us and the Oscars.
Oh, yeah, it's tonight too.
I just remember the Oscars were going on.
I don't care anymore.
Hopefully we didn't miss another Will Smith slap.
Was that already a year ago?
Yeah, I guess. I really hope we didn't miss one of those.
That's fine. I missed it the first time.
That was, but this would have been better. I doubt he slapped him. There's no way he slapped him. Well, maybe he just did a show. He just did.
Is he hosting again? It's not like James Corden or something. That guy's not going to slap anyone.
I don't know. Maybe they'll bring on location video live stream where he goes and finds him and slaps him in front of everybody in the Oscar. I don't know where it's going to go. After last year, what are you going to expect from the Oscars? It's must see TV, but not much more see TV than this. So appreciate you all. We're signing off. Thank you. We'll be back again Tuesday, March 14th with Gem Mint. See, I'm making it sound like a roller derby. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Thank you, and we'll be back there again. Thank you. Oh, okay, Kyle, you came on. We're going to give you a digital bitch slap, and we're out of here. Thank you all, and I'm going to play my intro again. Why? Because I like to torture people. Have a good night, everyone.